Dahil tayo po ay virtual, so kailangan natin ng ebidensya na tayo ay nag-session. Ha? And besides, hindi naman natin pag-uusapan ng inyong personal na buhay dito. So, don't have to worry about it. Dahil mas masusunod po ang design ng marriage. Kaya matututunan po ninyo ang mga bagay na hindi ninyo naririnig simula nung kayo ay bata pa. Mga turo na hindi na ituturo sa simbahan for some reasons, hindi na ituturo sa gobyerno for some reasons. Kaya yun po yung aming nakita na dapat ninyong malaman sa pag-aasawa. Dahil buong buhay po namin ay inilaan namin sa pag-aaral tungkol sa relationship, tungkol sa marriage. So the reason why we are offering this course is because we have the solution to every marital problem. Nakita namin yung solusyon sa bawat problema ng mag-asawa na hindi na ituturo sa atin. Anong reason ba't di na ituturo sa atin? Maybe baka again sa kanilang foreigner. Oh yeah. My slides is written in English, so I hope he can still catch up. Okay, because some of the statements have to be explained in Tagalog. Mas nandun yung conviction, if I explain it in Tagalog. So, I will share you my slides now. This is your right pre-marriage counseling session. Why sinabi naming right? Because may mga left na turo. May mga maling turo na akala natin yun ang tama because they are in authority. Akala natin yun ang tama because sila lang yung nakakaintindi ng Bible, which is wrong. Hindi porke sila yung authority, sila na yung susundin natin para maging guide sa ating mga desisyon. Kagaya ng if we are told to go and multiply, lagi natin maririnig yan every time we go to church, then we will assume that every time we make a baby, it is God's will, no? Because we are being taught that way every time we go to church. Now, if there is an atheist here who don't believe in God, well, I would suggest that you start believing now, because living without God is useless, no? You will only have a very useless life later on, because even the psychologists or the experts have found out that there will be a certain stage in our life, especially dun sa studies ni Erik Erikson and even ni Abraham Maslow, that there will be a certain point in our life that they will find for meaning for our existence. Darating at darating tayo doon sa point na yun. Kaya nga yung mga senior citizen ngayon, nagiging malapit na kay Lord, no? Simba ng simba. Kung kailan tumanda na, tsaka naman napaka-religious, no? At totoo yan, because natuklasan ng science yan. Na at the age of 50 to 70 or hanggang 80, the human being will always find answers to the question of where am I going, and they will always brag about their achievements, about their accomplishments in life. They always seek recognition at that age, no? At that age bracket. So, if you don't believe in God, you will never find your meaning of existence. You will never find your purpose in life. Remember that those people who are very happy in their lives, living a stress-free life, are those people who found their purpose, serving it to the world. No, their purpose, they are serving it to the world because they have found out their meaning of existence. At yan ay inuutos sa atin na hanapin during our youthful days, yung ating period na from from 0 to 12 or 0 to 11 years old before puberty, puro laro pa lang tayo dyan eh. Puro laro, laro. And that's the findings of science also. If you study Erik Erikson's theory, pagdating ng 12, puberty, hanggang sa mag-adulthood tayo, adolescence, yung period na yan, from 12 to 17 or 12 to 18, we were trying to find our purpose in life, our goal. Kaya nga yan yung period na yung mga kabataan nag-i-experiment eh. Yan yung period na tayo nalilito, naghahanap ng sagot, ano ba talagang kaya natin gawin, ano pwede natin gawin, kakayahan natin. We are experimenting during our teenage days. Bakit? We are trying to find our purpose in life. Kaya it will be a big failure kapag wala tayong parents telling us what we can do. It will be a big failure for an individual if he has no parents or daddy or mother telling him, this is your potential, son. It will be a big danger for a child to grow up without a father. Because the father is the model, supposed model of the child in the family on what to do for his future. Kaya pag wala yun, malis yung tatay, wala yung nanay, naghiwalay. Bakit? Because of the wrong mentality that they put in the marriage. What's mentality? That they have the right to be happy. Pag pumasok ka sa marriage na ang dala-dala mong mentalidad ay may karapatan ka maging masaya, you are already in danger. The marriage is already in danger because it only shows na hindi ka tapos, hindi ka pa fulfilled sa buhay mo bilang binata. And you are still wondering. You are still looking for answers. Kung ano yung purpose mo sa buhay. Kung ano yung meaning ng existence mo. Bakit ka nabubuhay. Okay? The marriage or the institution that you created is already in danger. If you bring that kind of mentality to the marriage. Okay? So let me introduce myself. Uy, nawala. Hold on. Oh, where's my screen? Nawala. Share screen. Yeah. I am Angelo Ibase. Just call me Papa Angelo, the life mentor. I am a family advocate for 27 years now. Stronger family advocate. I took up different courses, trying to find answers, trying to find my purpose in life, which I found out in the last 20 or 30 years na this is my purpose in life, to tell you the truth when you form a family. Okay? And this has become our source of income in developing our passion, developing our skills. I developed I completed 2 degrees in college, psychology and political science, and also the laws of the human beings. We studied that so that we can compare. What would be our priority? Is it the laws of the human being, the theories of the human beings, or the law of someone who made this life, who made this world that we call Earth? Because there must be an answer to every problem. Hindi po ako pumayag na walang sagot kaming makikita sa bawat tanong sa buhay. Let's say, for example, bakit may mahirap? Bakit may mayaman? Is this favoritism on the part of the maker, of the creator? Bakit may mahirap, may mayaman? May masaya, may malungkot? Is this a favoritism? Whenever I ask that question, I always tell myself, no. Why? Because the creator or the maker only makes human beings. He did not make rich. He did not make the poor. It is the human being who makes himself rich, and it is the human beings who makes himself poor. Kaya pag pumayag ka na pinanganak kang mahirap at mamamatay kang mahirap, pumayag ka pa rin, then that's a problem. May problema tayo dyan. Because you accepted your fate. At isa yan sa tinuturo sa atin na maling-mali. Ano yun? Huwag ka na magpakayaman because baka makalimutan mo yung Diyos. That is wrong. That is wrong teaching. At kung ano yung binigay ni Lord sa iyo na buhay mo, tanggapin mo yan. That is also wrong. It's a wrong teaching. Kaya today you will learn the principles na pag natutunan mo lahat ito, you will be wiser than any philosopher. You will be wiser than the lawyers na kilala mo. Mas alam mo how to handle your life effectively. And when we say effectively, di ba masarap mabuhay ng na stress-free life? Di ba masarap mabuhay na tayo ay laging sweet mag-asawa? Di ba ang sarap magtrabaho kapag tayo lahat sa pamilya ay nagkakaisa, nagmamahalan, walang sigawan, walang murahan sa loob ng bahay, walang batang nasasaktan? Di ba ang sarap mabuhay ng ganon? Magiging problema yan kapag ang sinagot mo sa akin, imposible kasi yan, sir. Imposible ang stress-free life. Imposible yan na hindi kami mag-aaway mag-asawa. That's another wrong mentality. Delikado ang asawa mo dyan. Kapag ganyan din ang mentalidad mo. Ha? Delikado ang marriage. Delikado ang inyong pagsasama. Ngayon pa lang, you have to check yourselves. Anong klaseng mentalidad meron ang mapapangasawa mo? Okay? Dahil yan ang pwede sumira ng buhay mo balang araw. Okay? Yeah. We will look forward to your life 5, 10, 15 years or 20 years from now. Even hanggang 25, titingnan natin because pag sinabi mo ngayon na hindi ko alam kung ano mangyayari sa future, Sir Angel. Hindi ko alam kung anong meron sa future. Hindi ko sigurado. Mali po yan. Maling-mali po yan. Madaling sabihin ang future. At makikita mo yan ngayon. How to do it? How to distinguish it? How to define it? You will learn that today. Kasi ang buhay talaga dinesign in such a way na maging maayos. Our life was designed in such a way to be orderly. Pero nagkakaroon lang ng disorder sa buhay natin when we violate the law. So law should be our priority. Bakit? Because law is the one that holds everything in the universe. And science have already discovered that. Law ang umahawak sa mga planets kung bakit hindi sila nag-uumpugan. Law ang umahawak sa mga stars to stay there, afloat. Law ang nagbibigay ng order sa isang bansa. If there is no law, it will be chaos sa isang bansa. Di ba? Ganun naman nangyayari. If people disregards the law, alam niyo na ang mangyayari. People will break into your homes. People will get your food. Yung pinaghirapan mo. People will just barge and wreak havoc in every homes if there is no law. Diba? Because the human being is very powerful. The human being is so powerful that anything he can do, no? Whatever he wants, whatever she wants, they can do whatever they want. So if there is no law that gives them boundaries sa kanilang power, sa kanilang pwedeng magawa, if there is no law or boundaries, ang buhay natin talaga ay magiging hell, no? Magiging parang anong tawag doon sa Tagalog? Anong tawag sa Tagalog yung hell? Kalimutan ko na. Tingnan ko kung nakikinig kayo. Ano sa Tagalog yung hell?
Impyerno.
Impyerno. Thank you. Although hindi natin nakikita pa, no? Hindi pa natin nakikita kung ano yung itsura ng impyerno, but we can describe it. 'Di ba? 'Yun ang kagandahan. Ganyan tayo ginawa ng ating creator. So, to tell us na wala tayong pwedeng ipagmalaki sa ating creator, pinanganak tayong hubot-hubad. Wala tayong pwedeng ipagmalaki sa kanya. Wala tayong hawak-hawak sa kamay when we were born. That's why we were born naked. You don't own anything. You don't own anything. I will just move my slides. I will just move it forward. Look at this. Teka. At yumaman man tayo, at the end of our life, wala na tayo pwede pang malaki sa kanya, no? We will never hold anything in our hands the moment we pass out, the moment our expiry date comes. Okay? Kaya, you better believe that there was someone who created you. And you better believe that there is a plan for your life which is basically good. Basically a good life. So now na mag-aasawa na kayo, now that you are getting married, you should accept, you should know, you should believe that there is a good life ahead for both of you. The question is how to achieve that. How you will achieve that. That we will discuss all throughout our session. So we will discuss this until 6 p.m. No holds barred, no? Walang pahinga. Because I can even discuss your future in the whole day. I will tell you how to distinguish, how to determine your future by learning true principles in life. Okay. Let me start with this statement from World Vision. I think all of you knows this, that this is a worldwide foundation which has a branch here in the Philippines. And according to them, here in the Philippines daw, separation among married couples is not rare. Ibig sabihin, hindi daw anong tawag doon? Hindi sikreto, no? Hindi sikreto sa Pilipinas na maraming pamilya ang nasisira. Talagang alam natin, talagang obviously we know that there are many troubled marriages. Bakit? Pag nagsama nga naman talaga ang babae at lalaki, sabi ng science, 99% yung probability of conflict. Pag pinagsama mo ang lalaki sa lalaki, mababa lang yung probability of conflict. No? Pati sa babae, pag nagsama ang dalawang babae, talagang magkakasundo yan. Pero pag nagsama ang male and female, the probability of conflict is very high. Okay? So let's see, bakit ba kasi nagkakaroon ng conflict sa mag-asawa? According to World Vision, sabi nila, despite the absence of a divorce law, there is still a high rate of annulment among Filipino couples. A study by Margot Galang, 2015, on implication of broken marriages to Filipino children. The common reasons why Filipino couples separate include, number one, what is that? Financial problem. Lack of communication, infidelity, and domestic violence. So ilan itong sinabi nila? 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 major issues na kadalasan pinag-aawayan ng mag-asawa. Eh hindi lang naman dito sa Pilipinas ito. This is a worldwide causes of troubles among married people na kahit unmarried, kahit hindi kasal, they will also experience this. Di ba? No one is exempted. Kahit na mayaman kayong mag-asawa, you will still have financial problems. In what area kayo pwedeng magkaroon ng financial problem kahit na marami kayong pera? Kapag ang babae ay gumastos ng hindi alam ng husband. Nang walang pahintulot ng husband. Alam niyo ba yon? Ha? Na nagwawala ang husband kapag magastos ang babae? Napansin niyo ba yon? Hindi nila nakikita yon. Bakit nagagalit si husband? Yun ang malalaman niyo today. Saan nanggagaling yung kanyang hugot? Naalala ko bigla yung mag-asawa na lumapit sa amin for counseling just a few months ago. Isang foreigner, saka isang Pinay, a Middle Eastern guy who came here in our office. May anak na sila. Ang pinag-aawayan nila, pera. Wala raw silang problema sa pera. O yun naman pala ba't kayo nag-aaway? Ang sabi ni husband, my wife, yung Pilipinang wife daw niya, yung wife niya, nag-shopping, nag-grocery ng 200,000 in one day. Imagine that. 200,000 in just one day. Galit na galit siya. Although sabi ko, hindi naman pala problema sa inyo yung pera. Marami kayong pera. Bakit kayo nag-aaway ngayon? Saan galing yung hugot ni husband? Dito nyo malalaman sa session na ito na may natural built-in feelings ang mga husband na hindi nila control, hindi nila imbento, kusang lumalabas. It is called natural creation. From the word nature. So if you verify the word nature in dictionary, it will give you this definition. Not invented by any human being or cannot be controlled by any human beings. That is called natural. Nature. Okay? Nagagalit din yung babae dun sa pumunta sa amin sa counseling na yon. Kasi daw pinagdadamutan siya ng pera. Kasi nga meron silang vault, no? The husband can produce millions. Meron silang cash money vault, yung kahadiyero. Tapos ang susi nun, nakakwinta sa husband. Walang susi yung wife. Nakakwinta sa leeg ng husband. Kahit na natutulog at naliligo siya, dala-dala niya yung susi. So doon pa lang may problema na tayo. Bakit? Hindi nagtitiwala si husband sa pag-handle ng pera kay wife. Kaya siya lang nakakaalam ng kombinasyon. Di ba? So, may mga reason kung bakit nangyayari ang mga problemang ito na hindi nakikita ng science. Kagaya nitong lack of communication. Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng lack of communication? Mag-uusap lang naman. Di ba? Humingi kayo ng payo sa mga kaibigan nyo, sa mga pare, sa pastor, anong isasagot sa inyo? Mag-usap kayo. Bakit hindi magawa yung pag-uusap? When you can just easily sit down and talk yung mga reklamo mo, habang nakikinig yung isa, at yung isa naman, pag siya na yung magsasalita, ilalabas din niya yung mga reklamo niya. Mahirap bang gawin yun? Hindi naman, di ba? Bakit hindi magawa? Lalo na kung galit na ang bawat isa. Bakit galit? Because hindi marunong makinig yung isa. At dahil hindi marunong makinig, hindi rin niya maintindihan kung ano yung sinasabi ng partner niya. Di ba? Paano mo maiintindihan kung ayaw mong pakinggan na ang gusto mo lang sabihin yung sa'yo, yung sa'yo, yung sa'yo? Kasi ganito ka, ganito ka, ganito ka. Imposible namang wala rin siyang masasabi sa'yo. Di ba? Di ba sabi nila, 2 is to tango? O, hindi pwedeng ikaw lang. Hindi pwedeng siya lang. Malamang may problema din sa'yo. Bakit? Isang katawan na lang kayo. The moment na nagsama ang dugo ninyong dalawa, you activated the relationship law. Kaya pag-usapan natin ngayon yung relationship law na yan, which is a natural law. Pangatlo, infidelity daw. Infidelity. Pagtataksil. Ito lang masasabi ko sa inyo. In a relationship, teacher, student, employee, employer, husband and wife, contractor, worker, teacher, student, driver, passenger, those are relationship. Meron silang kailangan ibigay sa isa't isa. That is called relationship. Everything, every violation is forgivable, understandable, except for one. Yung pwedeng sumira sa relationship na yan, employer, employee, husband, wife, parents, children, teacher, student, driver, passenger, those relationships can only be destroyed by one violation. The rest are all understandable, forgivable, or reasonable, except for one. What is that? Who wants to answer? Walang sumagot, magtatawag ako.
Well, you said it already, infidelity, no?
Yes. There is still something behind that. Kasi yung infidelity, hindi naman siya nagsisimula kagad eh. Or hindi siya naisip mo lang today that you will be infidel for that day. May nangyayari pa backwards. Nag-start na, naumpisahan mo na, which is betrayal. Betrayal. The moment you betray in that relationship, that is unforgivable. That is unforgivable. Kung sino man ang gumawa sa inyo, kung sino man mag-violate sa inyo, whether the husband or the wife, hindi na pagtitiwalaan ang susunod na gagawin mo or pupuntahan mo or sasabihin mo. The trust is already broken. The world teaches a second chance. There is no second chance, couples. Maybe gambling can still be cured. Maybe drinking alcohol can still be cured. Or gambling habits. Or cigarette. What is that? Chain smoker. Being a chain smoker can still be forgivable, can still be forgiven because there can be a second chance for that violation of your health. But betrayal, there is no forgiveness. Even though you forgive your partner verbally, the damage remains. No? Parang sugat yan, na malaking sugat yan na mag-iiwan ng peklat sa'yo, that whenever you see the peklat, babalik yung hurt na naramdaman mo, babalik yung trauma na inabot mo sa sugat na yan. Okay? How about domestic violence? Domestic violence, sabi dito, are you pananakit or the inflicting of harm to the spouse. Eh, sino ba ang most victims ng domestic violence? Lalaki ba? Hindi naman eh.
Mostly women.
Mostly women. Bakit? Because the man obviously stronger than the woman, di ba? At kapag kinwestiyon ng babae ang kakayahan ng lalaki, the only asset, kung walang asset yung husband, the only asset that he can show you is his strength. Yun lang. Para lang mapakita niya na he is powerful than you. His strength. Meron kaming kausap na couple yesterday, 2 years pa lang kinakasal, meron silang anak, naiyak ako dun sa kanilang istorya. Alam niyo kung bakit? Binato ni husband si wife. Tinamaan sa ulo. Bakit niya nagawa yun? And the wife is still undergoing postpartum depression period. Gaano katagal ba yung postpartum na yan? Na hindi mo maintindihan yung babae sa mga sinasabi niya. Moody. Laging mahirap kausap. Gaano ba katagal yung postpartum na yan, if you know? Ayan. Women are at most risk nga. Dahil nga, the man can show that he is powerful than the woman. Kaya pag ininsulto mo ang lalaki, meron siya lakas na wala ka. Nagets nyo? Naintindihan nyo? Pag sinabi mo yung lalaki, wala ka silbi. Walang silbi? O ito, may silbi ako sa'yo. Pak! Upakan ka. Yun yung meron siya. Nawala ka. Yung lakas. Yung strength. Kaya domestic violence happens only kapag may babaeng palasagot at nangiinsulto sa husband. Tinanong ko yung husband, bakit po binato yung wife mo? Para tumigil lang siya. Ang ingay eh. Imagine, batuhin mo. Hindi lang yun. Sinabihan pa niyang pangit yung wife niya. Oo, bakit mo sinabi yun? Pangit ba siya talaga? Hindi naman siya pangit eh. Gusto ko lang tumigil siya sa pagsasalita. Ang ingay niya. Yun lang yung intention ng husband. Patigilin. Kaya nasabi daw niya yung pangit. Eh pero harsh yun sa mga babae. Di ba girls? Is that harsh or not? Sagot? Ay, hindi yata harsh eh. Walang sumasagot eh.
Sorry, what's the question?
Harsh ba yung sabihan kayong pangit?
Well, it depends. You can take it as a joke, but if it's an insulting way of saying you're ugly, then obviously it's not nice. But I think the examples are quite patriarchal because it can't be the woman's fault for saying you're stupid or you're ugly. It doesn't justify a man hurting a woman for saying these things. I'm sorry.
Did you know that it's insulting to the man
Yeah.
to degrade him?
Yeah, but it can be equally insulting to the woman, though. Do you not think?
Yeah, it's harsh. That's the question. Is that harsh or not? Saying that
It is, yeah,
he's
it is, but
ugly. Yes.
it is, but it depends on how you two know each other as a couple, though. Like if it's in a banter, then that's fine. But if it's in a serious note, then obviously I get it. That's not right. That's insulting. That's hurtful. But you two as a couple would know when you're having a nice banter and a chit chat, and then you can say, "Oh my God, you're so fugly or you're so ugly," but it's an inside joke, then that's fine. And it depends on how you two as a couple communicate and take that as an offense or not.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so we address 4 issues that are common daw among marriage partners or couples. So any questions so far? Baka pwede pa-open ng mga video nyo so I can see if there's someone, if there are people listening to me. Now, I'd like to ask you, who are knowledgeable, or what do you feel to be the qualities to qualify for marriage? I will ask the man, where the woman will answer ano ang qualities na dapat mayroon ng isang lalaki pag pumasok sa marriage. Let's ask the first couple here in the video, Miss Lourdes. Ano dapat meron? Just give one. Naka-mute ka, ma'am.
Top qualities to qualify for marriage. Understanding.
Understanding. Okay, thank you. Let's see another one. Coco.
Sorry, you're asking for my husband to be his quality, to
Yes.
be qualified to get married,
Yes.
that he's an adult.
Okay, adult is enough.
Or consenting adult, yeah.
Okay, being a consenting adult is enough to qualify for marriage. I'll take that
I didn't
as,
say that's I didn't say that's all. You asked me for one.
yeah, so what's the answer? What's your answer?
One of the qualities that the person is a consenting adult. There could be multiple qualities.
Okay, just be specific.
That's my answer, consenting adult.
Okay. Okay, next one, Miss Stephanie.
Christian.
What is that?
To be loving.
Loving. Loving. Okay. Loving. Number 4. Jessica.
I am God-fearing.
God-fearing. What happens if the man is not God-fearing? Jessica.
Well, I think it's also subjective. It depends on your on what you want for a partner. And that's for me, that's a God-fearing is my number one quality
Okay.
that I want to look for.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued with your answer, because later on I will tell you that
To connect to.
that a man without God is dangerous. Is a dangerous man. Yeah. So pang-5, let's ask Alexis. Charles. Sino ba babae sa inyo? Charles and Alexis. Sino babae sa inyo dalawa? Naka-mute kayo, naka-mute.
Sorry. Alexis po yung babae.
Okay, Alexis.
Responsible.
Give me responsible.
Correct na lang.
Okay, just 5. May dagdagan natin kasi marami pala kayo. Dagdagan natin. Let's
Ang sa ganyan bag-obi kay ingno na lang nako sila.
paki-mute lang po. Let's ask Chari. Miss Chari.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I think that, I guess one very important quality for marriage would be compassion. I think it's important that you not just love your partner, but you love all people in general. And obviously your partner will be your priority, but I think it can be very problematic if you're not a compassionate person, right? Because then if you fall out of love with your partner and you're not a compassionate person, it can become very scary very fast. You know what I mean? I don't know
Okay.
if I'm being clear, but yeah.
Is that Christian?
No, this is Charles.
Charles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, I thought you called my name. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. You're supposed to answer in the next column, but that's okay.
Oh.
That's okay. That's fine. So I was
Christian,
supposed.
excuse me, so sorry. Christian
Mm-mm.
cannot connect with the Zoom link. So
Okay.
can she open with, new
Sige.
new
Okay lang.
email?
Okay lang.
But she's with me in the video call one. He is listening.
Okay. Sige, it's better that he's listening, no? kahit wala sa video mo. Okay. So I was supposed to ask Alexis. Alexis ba? Tama? Have you answered already,
Nasabi ko
Alexis?
na po
Ano sabi
responsible.
mo na? Okay, responsible. Ryan and Chari. Where's Chari? Nakasagot ka na,
Yes, hello
Chari?
po. Hindi pa.
What's your answer?
For me, kailangan patient.
Patient. Okay, thank you, Chari. How about Stephanie? Steph?
I already answered po, yung
Ayun.
number 3.
Sa'yo ba yun? Okay. Who else? Castro. Ma'am, anong pangalan niyo pareho? Pwede pakilagay pa pangalan niyo dalawa. Then, Nikki. Nikki?
Yes, hello. Wait, I'm trying to change my name. So na
Sige.
disconnect.
Just answer.
Sige, good looking.
Good looking.
Bakit hindi? Why not?
Well, hindi
Okay.
naman ako good looking.
Okay lang yan, good looking ka sa mata ko.
Okay, thank you. Looks like natanong ko na lahat. That's Nikki who answered last. Is that Nikki? Ikaw ba yun, Nikki?
Yes,
Okay.
ako po yun.
Okay, thank you. Now let's ask the man. Ano ang dapat quality ng isang babae para sa iyo? Let's ask Francis. Let's start with Francis.
Submissive.
Submissive. Okay, thank you. Why did you answer submissive? Can you explain?
It's written in the Bible
Okay, it's in the Bible.
that the woman was made to
What's written in
be the wife.
Okay, if we don't,
Wives, you submit to your husband.
yeah, if we were not able to read that in the Bible, is that how you feel? Naturally?
No, I actually think that my wife should be somewhat submissive in a way na she knows her role.
Okay.
We have our own roles. So
Okay.
at least that way, hindi kami na babangayan parati. Feeling ko dapat ganun.
Okay. Thank you for that. Francis. Now let's ask Leonard.
Sir, emotionally prepared.
Emotionally prepared. Sa mga problema darating. Ganun ba yun?
Yes po.
Sa mga konsumisyon na ibibigay mo, dapat prepared siya. Ganun ba yun? Ba't mo naisip yan, Leonard?
Yeah, kasi I think kasama yun sa sa married life. Dapat prepared ka talaga emotionally kasi I think mahirap pag magbe-breakdown ka na lang basta-basta.
Okay, hindi ba dapat mentally prepared?
Yeah.
Para maintindihan yung nangyayari? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Mentally. Palitan natin.
Yeah. Sige po.
Mentally prepared. Kasi pag emotional, hindi na makakapag-isip no? According to science, the women are built to be emotional talaga. Kaya they will always say what they feel. Kaya there will be times na magulo sila kausap. Oo, ganun yun. Number 3. Let's ask si Ryan. Ryan?
Hello po.
Ano ang pwede mo idagdag?
Bali po matured po mag-isip.
Matured.
Ano po?
Matured mag-isip.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Number 4. Dagdagan mo.
Yes po.
Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go. What's your
Hello po.
addition here? Sino po sila? Ano pangalan mo, sir? Ryan? Ikaw na ba yan, Ryan? Ikaw na ba yan, Ryan? Narinig mo ako, Ryan?
Hello po.
Narinig mo ako? Narinig ka namin. Sige lang.
Hello?
Your answer, please. Ano pa? Ano dagdag mo dito? Ryan?
Hello?
Sir, sige na, sige. Narinig ka namin.
Hello? Siguro po matured po mag-isip. Yun po yung tingin kong magandang qualities.
Matured din? Oo, nasagot na yun dito sa pangatlo eh. Nasagot na siya. What else? Balikan kita, sir. Si Jerome. Jerome?
Caring.
Ano po yun? Ano po yun?
Caring.
Caring. Okay,
Dulo ko eh.
caring. The woman must be caring. Thank you, Jerome. Ryan, pwede ka na ba? Pwede ka na sumagot?
Okay po.
Sige. Ano yung pwede mo dagdag dito? Ano pwede idagdag?
Bali po yung matured na po mag-isip.
Talagang gustong-gusto mo yun, ha? Nag-i-stick ka talaga dito, ha? Sa matured mag-isip, ha? Okay. Ulitin na lang natin. Matured mag-isip.
Opo, kasi
Okay. 2 boto para sa matured mag-isip. Thank you.
Christian want to say something also. Christian?
Christian, can you add?
Supportive, sir.
Supportive. Uy, very good. Thank you. Supportive saan? Sa iyong mga plano?
Mga plano sa buhay, sir, at plan in life. Yan na, sir.
Wow.
Okay, very good. Sige, tingnan natin because some of your answers ay nasagot din ng mga nauna na nag-asawa. So these are general answers na nafi-feel natin to be necessary for your marriage to be successful. But honestly, hindi po namin ito nakita. We did not actually find all these qualities sa mga naghiwalay na. Before the marriage, they were telling all this. Pero ito rin yung ginamit nilang basis para maghiwalay. Naintindihan nyo? Yung bang, because some of these qualities are based on feelings. No, yung understanding, pwedeng hindi siya understanding today. Yesterday, understanding siya. So, this sometimes depends on the situation. Alam niyo yon? Yung pagiging matured mag-isip, pag napipressure, may oras na hindi siya matured mag-isip. Yung God-fearing, that should remain. Yung loving, that should remain. Kung loving ka or caring ka o malambing ka, sometimes people will not be, or it's hard for them to be loving, depende sa sitwasyon. Kapag ininis mo or inasar mo, they cannot be loving for that particular day. Diba? Because some of these are feelings na natetest or na-challenge during test. Pag wala kayong pera, makakapaglambingan pa ba kayo? Di ba? Pagka tumataas na yung mga bills ninyo, mahirap maging submissive, lalo na kung meron siyang mga pangakong hindi tinutupad, di ba? girls. This sometimes depends on the situation. Yung delivery ng mga actions na ito. And there are 5 elements that are necessary for the marriage to work, which we will learn today. But let me continue by telling you that every nation, every country, they always consider the family as the foundation of a great nation. Everywhere you go, they will always conclude that pag marami ang pamilyang buo sa isang bansa, sa isang community, pag yan nagsama-sama, when every family is complete, every family are loving each other, walang sumbatan sa loob ng bahay, lahat ng needs ng tao na meet sa loob ng bahay. And when it becomes big in numbers, the country will be strong. It will become a great nation. Because scientists have already proven that social ills emanated from the homes of every family. Kung merong teenage pregnancy problem, merong disturbed na relationship inside the home. Pag merong crime na nagawa ang isang tao, merong isang bahay na hindi nagabayan yung taong yon. When there's a dysfunctional individual in the society, there must be a dysfunctional home because that individual was produced by that dysfunctional home. So this country recognizes the family as the foundation of our nation. Same with the other countries. In section 1, it states that the state recognizes the Filipino family as the foundation of the nation. Why the word foundation is used here? Because it's the one holding the structure, the institution that you are building your marriage. The foundation is the one being used in construction projects. Whenever there's a building being constructed, the foundation is beneath where it holds the entire building. So most of the budget, majority of the budget is allocated to the building of the foundation. So if family is the foundation of the nation, then there should be more time, attention should be given in learning about the family, in learning more about your relationship as a husband and wife. And in the family code, they consider it as a basic social institution which public policy cherishes and protects, where every policy of the government should be aligned in the protection of the family. Now, under the family code, you have these rights. And this is one of our problems whenever we see a disgruntled marriage because of we were born in a culture na puro rights mo to, rights ko to, rights mo to, rights mo to. No? We were built under that culture because of the democracy that was brought to us by the Greek people. Yung demokrasyang pinakilala sa atin na dinala dito ng mga Amerikano, that we have these rights and rights and rights and rights as a human being. Kaya if you study the family code, lahat yan puro rights ang makikita mo, and there is only 5 obligations. Mas marami yung rights kaysa dun sa obligations. According to Merriam-Webster, rights is something to which one has a just claim, such as a power to or privilege to which one is justly entitled. And obligations is something one is bound to do. Nakatali ang kamay mo, it's your duty, it's your responsibility, whether you like it or not. And these are twins, rights and obligations. You cannot enjoy your rights if you're not doing your obligations. And this is called relationship. Like the examples that I gave you a while ago, yung relationship ng student and teacher, driver and passenger, they have to deliver what is expected by the other party. So if you are a husband, you are expected to deliver the rights of your wife. So if you are a wife, you are expected to deliver the rights of your husband. Ganun po yun. Hindi yung nakatayo ka lang waiting for your rights to be given to you or to exercise your rights all the time. And how about the rights of your spouse? He is also expecting you to give you your rights or to give him his rights. Diba? Hindi pwede maghiwalay yung rights and obligations. So as you can see, dito pa lang may problema na. 5 obligation lang against the many rights na inisa-isa dito. Look at this, right to be loved and be comforted, right to jointly fix, right to manage, right to exercise, right to give and receive moderate gifts, right to retain the ownership of your properties, right to freely alienate, right not to waive interest, rights and shares, right to the administration, right not to support the abandoning or guilty spouse, right to encumber, and blah, blah, blah. No more obligations being mentioned. Only 5 obligations. So dito pa lang may problema na tayo sa setup ng ating law on the family. Okay? So this is quoted from this book, Family Code of the Philippines. And when you fail to do your duties, your obligations as a spouse, ito po yung remedies daw. According to this book, The Law on Annulment of Marriage. So let's see kung ito bang mga remedies na binibigay sa atin ng batas ng tao will preserve the marriage. Can I ask Jerome to read this to us, please?
Annulment of marriage. Remedies.
Please read all, lahat po.
Hello?
Pakibasa po lahat, sir.
Yes. Annulment of marriage, declaration of nullity of marriage, legal separation, action for support, action for damages, action for receivership, judicial separation of property, action for guardianship, action for sole administration of property, judicial admonition of spouse, judicial declaration of presumptive death, summary judicial proceeding, action for injunctive relief, contempt action, criminal action, administrative action, protection order, number 17.
Yeah, protection order. Which is being given by the court or the barangay kapag nagbubugbugan na kayo, no? Okay. Jerome, may napansin ka ba dito na remedy that leads towards the preservation of your relationship? Meron ba? Meron?
None.
Wala, no? None? How about the others? How about the others? May nabasa ba kayo na remedy if your spouse is not doing his or her obligations? Can you see any one of these remedies that will continuously preserve your relationship?
Is it the action for support?
Action for support. Okay. You will ask for support for your spouse. Paano kung wala siyang trabaho? Anong support mabibigay niya? Or wala siyang source of income? That's another problem. How about the others? Pag humihingi ka na ng suporta sa asawa mo while you are still, you will only ask for support kapag humiwalay ka na ng bahay eh. Di ba? Di ba no? Charles?
Yeah, well, this list, it all seems like it's interventions of the state into the marriage. And I think if you're at that point, I think there's a lot that could be done before you get to the point where you need the state to intervene in your marriage, right? Like if you're,
Yes.
you can ask your spouse what's wrong, what's bothering them, try to be supportive and understand them. And, I hopefully, and it might not always be easy, right? Because we
Right.
live stressful lives a lot of times, but hopefully you can come together and understand each other better and not have to have the state intervene at all in your marriage would be ideal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Thank you, Charles. We have two
Oh, thank
foreigners
you.
pala. We have two foreigners in the audience. Charles
Uh,
and Paul.
I'm, yeah.
You're both Americans?
I'm
Sorry, go on, Charles.
I'm Ganyan Gehaga of the nation Ganyan Gehaga.
How about the other one? Paul.
I'm from London.
From what? From where?
London.
London. Okay. British, huh? Thank you. No, Charles is correct in saying that you need to address your issues first before allowing the state to intervene in your problem, because the moment you involve the state already, then there will be no chance of preserving the marriage anymore. Diba, Charles? Is that right?
Yeah, I think when the state starts getting involved, that means that it's maybe at a
Yes.
point of no return. Yeah.
Yes, yes, because the damage has been done. There will be irreparable damage along the way, especially when you have kids already. So that's the problem that we saw in our family law. It does not suggest, even in the legal separation remedy in number 3 here, they don't even suggest to go on a serious counseling. You will just go to court, you'll just file a legal separation, removing his rights to your conjugal properties and so on. When the state is mandated to preserve the marriage according to what they have written in the Constitution. So something ain't right in the equation. Okay? So don't use this list as your option when you are in trouble during your relationship. Do not seek the intervention of the state. You cannot report to the judge, so judge, my husband is not loving me or respecting me anymore. You cannot do that. No? So would you rather insist on your rights or preserve your family? Of course, you should preserve your family, because this is no way out. There is no way out in marriage. There should be a due diligence on your part before you deciding to say, I do. Okay? Due diligence. And the fact that you will never run out of women, you will never run out of men as well. You have a lot of time to choose your lifetime partner. Okay? So, according to Socrates, the beginning of wisdom is a definition of terms. The more we know about the meaning of the term, the more we can understand how to explain it, how to interpret it. So let's start defining our roles, the family, the word family, the word marriage. Let's define that so we know how to handle ourselves. No, let's start with the family. According to Wikipedia, the human society or family from the Latin word familia, it's a group of people related either by consanguinity, by blood, or affinity, by marriage or other relationship. And in most societies, it is within families the children acquire socialization for life outside the family. In other words, the individual or your child should learn first how to socialize inside the home. Sa loob ng bahay, doon pa lang dapat matutunan niya kung paano makipag-usap sa tao, paano makipag-deal, na hindi siya dapat manakit, bawal manakit, mangagaw ng laruan. The child must know that from the very beginning before siya lumabas ng bahay. And so additionally, as the basic unit for meeting the basic needs of its members, it provides a sense of boundaries, no? The boundaries, ano yung mga dapat at hindi dapat niyang gawin. Para maging safe din ang kanyang buhay, ang kanyang sarili. Okay? Dahil sigurado, pag nanakit siya, ay pwede rin siyang masaktan, pwede siyang balikan. Di ba? And it should ideally build your child into a functional adult. Your home should be a place for your child to learn how to be a functional adult. Kaya his character will be molded according to the environment that you provided him. According to what the child will hear from both of you. His character will be molded according to what he sees from the both of you. If there are things that he does not need to know, then he must not know it from the both of you. He must not hear it from the both of you. Especially when you are fighting over money or financial things, and he should not see violent things happening inside your home. He should not see your quarrel, your disagreements. Di ba? Hindi dapat yun nakikita, naririnig, at nararamdaman ng bata. Kahit pamurang edad yan, kahit pa sabihin natin hindi niya pa naiintindihan yan, meron siyang tenga. He has these ears to feel that there is something wrong from the both of you. Mararamdaman ng bata yun, especially kahit nasa tiyan pa yan. So husbands, if you are stressing your wife during pregnancy, the child can hear and feel what's happening from the both of you. Kaya hindi porke nasa tiyan pa yan, hindi niya naintindihan yung pinagtatalunan ninyo. Hindi porke nasa tiyan yan, hindi niya nararamdaman yung nangyayari sa inyong dalawa. You are already creating a rebellious child in the process. A child na nagpupuyos, na uumpisang magalit because nasasaktan yung nanay niya. Ha, husbands? So, be careful. Purpose of the family is to maintain the well-being of its members and of society. Everything in life has a purpose. Everything that we see, that we feel, that we touch, everything that we enjoy has a purpose. How much more for the family? The family should have a purpose and not just exercise our rights to form a family. We also have an obligation when we form a family, not just exercising our rights to form a family. We have an obligation to produce a functional adult in the society or a functional child in the society. Okay? Now, let's define foundation. As I've said a while ago, it's an underlying base or support, especially the whole masonry substructure of a building, from Merriam-Webster dictionary also. It is not seen, it is beneath, and the family is supposed to be like a foundation. It's strong beneath this structure, hindi pinagyayabang yung kanilang buhay, hindi pinagmamalaki yung kanilang mga ginagawa sa isa't isa, yung hindi pinagyayabang sa mundo, yung mga grandiose lifestyle. Tahimik lang dapat ang inyong family. Because kusang mag-glow yan, kusang liliwanag yan sa ibang tao, the moment you are working on the building of your foundation. So, hindi kailangan pagmalaki. Makikita yan kusa ng tao. Okay? So, let us learn principles. Principles means first law. In the United Kingdom, where Paul knows this, in a kingdom government, the sons and daughters of the king is called prince or princess. Why? Because they are first in line to the throne. That is where principles, the word principle came from. It's a first law that human being cannot tamper with. It's there before we were born. It is already there even before this earth was created. They are first law principles. For example, like this one, we reap what we sow. Do not expect harvest if you did not plant anything. Kung wala ka naman tinanim, bakit ka mag-expect ng harvest? It's against the natural law to expect a miracle. Okay? Kung gusto mong yumaman, balang araw, that's everybody's dream. Kung wala ka namang ginagawang pagtatanim, ano yun? Pag-aaral. How do you expect yourself to be rich someday? Kung hindi ka naman nagtatanim ng oras, atensyon sa pag-aaral. In developing your passion, in developing your skills. How do you expect harvest? Diba? When you are not sowing anything. Remember that principle. Duties and rights. That's also a principle. They are twins. You can only enjoy your rights if you're doing your duties. If you ask for benefits from the government, which is your rights, which is written in the law, the government will just ask you, before they give you your rights, before they give you your benefits, the government will ask you, are you doing your duties? Are you paying your taxes? Do you have criminal records? Are you obeying the law? So those are the conditions, because those are your duties for you to enjoy your rights. What else? Law and order. Of course, as I've explained initially, there will be disorder if there are no law existing. The truth shall set you free. Only the truth will help us understand what's happening. Only the truth will free us from confusion, from misunderstanding, from miscommunication, from misconception. They can all be answered by truth, katotohanan. And how do you define truth? Truth means original information. Again, I will repeat, truth means original information. Kung saan nagsimula yung isang bagay, doon mo makikita yung totoo. Kung saan nanggaling, saan yung source, doon mo malalaman yung totoo, yung truth, from where it all started. from where it all happened. Diba? Sa korte nga, diba? Pag tumestigo ka, you are being asked to swear. Do you swear to tell the truth, but nothing but the truth? Why they are asking you to swear? Because the truth is in your mind. What motivated you to do this? It's in your mind, so it has to go out of your mind by verbally declaring it under oath. Okay? Because that's what the court needs to get the truth so they can decide justly. Okay? What is law and its purpose? Purposely to regulate the human being's behavior. It's a system of rules created and enforced through social or governmental institutions. For what purpose? To regulate behavior. Okay? So, law and order was discovered by scientists to be the one existing in the universe. If not for this law, all these planets, all these galaxy will just collide with each other if there is no law. And they call that the law of thermodynamics, the law of inertia, the law of gravity. These are the laws of the universe. And this gives order to our solar system. So don't expect harvest when you did not plant anything from the beginning. Don't expect good relationship between the two of you if you are not giving time, care, love, and attention to each other. Do not expect a good relationship someday if you fail to put time, love, care, attention to each other. That is sowing. What benefits does truth give us? Of course, I answered this already. How to know the truth? You go back to the beginning, from where it all started. You will know the truth. Another principle, like I mentioned a while ago, the duties and rights of citizens and state, between the landlord and lessee, between the husband and the wife, between the client and a company, between the teacher and student, a driver and passenger, employer and employee, the duties and rights of what else? Everything that everyone who activated the relationship. What is that? Your need to function well. That is called relationship. If you are dependent to another product for you to function well, that is called relationship. And that's a first law that no human being can tamper. No human being can change because the purpose should happen for that product. And it manifests, it gives life, it gives order, it gives productivity and longevity to both parties or the products. Even in biology, natuklasan lahat ng doktor, ng scientists, ng ating mga researchers, na every animal has, any plants, all the creations have their respective purposes. And they are all dependent to each other. Dependency to each other is called relationship. The appliances that we use, they cannot function without the use of electricity. The car that you are driving, it cannot function without the use of fuel. That even electric cars have been invented, you still need electricity for that car to function. That is one area of life that the human beings cannot do. What is that? The capacity to build a product that is all in one. The creator did not allow us to create a product which is all in one. We have to depend on another product to function well. And you can decide not to activate that. What is that? When you decide not to marry, your relationship remains with your parents. But when you become adult, the time of your parents will lapse and you will remain alone, you will remain a single. You have to have a relationship with your creator. Otherwise, you will be a dangerous man. You will be a dangerous person on earth if you have no relationship with your maker, which is required by human beings as discovered by Abraham Maslow in the hierarchy of needs. If you study psychology, Abraham Maslow put on top the last part, which is the self-actualization. No? So relationship is not a product of human beings. It is already there before us in creation from the very beginning. Just like this tree that you see. It started from a seed. You just put that seed into the right soil, tamang lupa, tamang environment, tamang supply ng tubig, tamang supply ng init ng araw. That seed's capacity to become a tree is built in. Basta siya lang ay nasa tamang lupa, tamang environment, tamang supply ng kanyang needs, the tree will grow naturally, even without the human being's intervention. The success of the tree from that seed is built in. Just put the seed in the right environment and he will grow naturally. And who's the one giving what he needs to grow naturally? Of course, his source, his creator. That is also a relationship. The fish or the fishes in the sea, if you put them in the right water, they will grow naturally. In fact, the scientists have proven that the fishes can swim faster, energetic, if they are in the right environment. They are serving their purpose. Even the birds, just with the right environment, with the right clean air and wide area, they become stronger because they are manifesting their purpose. They become happy. They don't get tired flying. The fish don't get tired swimming. Why? Because that's their purpose. So the same with the human being, the moment you found your purpose, you will be happy every day. Even to the point of giving your time for free. Why? Because you found your purpose. You're willing to sacrifice and you are living a stress-free life because you found meaning whenever you wake up in the morning. So once you activated your need for another natural product so you can function well, it is called relationship. This is a first law, supreme law, not invented by humans. The first laws or principles, when violated, have built-in punishments. No need for courts or judges. We cannot tamper first law. They are permanent, so they are called statutes. They are likened into statues. Dumating man ang bagyo or typhoon, strong earthquake, the statue is still standing. And violation or not following this first law produces outright disorder or destruction. That's guaranteed. So law and order, our laws are two types, the laws not made by human beings and the laws made by human beings. Laws not made by human beings are called supreme, superior, or natural laws. And the laws made by human beings are called positive laws or the inferior law. From the word nature, as I've explained a while ago, according to natural law theory, all people have inherent rights. Yes, according to the Greek. These Greek people are the thinkers. They made great contributions to our world, especially to the Western world. These are the rights conferred not by act of legislation, but by God, nature, or reason. Not, in other words, these are the natural law built into our persona, that we cannot tamper with, that we cannot change, that the Senate or the Congress cannot even tamper with, because it is created naturally. So this book contains natural law. Everything about life, relationship, career, marriage, health, they're all here in this book. And this book, we can find that the first human being was male. Not the salamander, not the caveman, but a male human being. And in this book also, we know that the woman was created from the rib of a man, which naturally explains why the woman or both of you feels that should be protected by each other. You are longing to be protected by your husband. With the husband, on the side of the husband, you are longing to know wherever your wife goes. Hindi ka papayag na hindi mo alam kung nasaan yung wife mo. Hindi ka rin papayag na hindi siya nagpapaalam sa iyo kung saan siya pupunta. 'Di ba? You feel that way of being her protector. And the woman also feel that way that you should protect her. Okay? But pag lumampas, no, pag na-over sa protection, na-over sa pagdo-dominate, na-over sa pag-control, nasasakal, ano, nakakaramdam tayo ng sakal kapag nag-o-over na sa pagbabantay yung ating asawa. Di ba? So that power should have a limitation. Ano yung limitation na sinabi ng creator ng human beings? Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh to them. That's the limitation of your power. Still express your love and do not be harsh to the woman. Bakit? The science have explained that the women are designed to be emotional and the men are designed to be logical. The woman will always say what they feel, not what they think. And the man will always say what they think, not what they feel. So, different models of human beings, different designs, and different purposes. Okay? Time check. It's 3:46 on my clock. Can we have a break? Can we meet again by 4 p.m.? Huh, guys?
Yes, sir.
So you can have your water break? Water break or CR break? Huh? Okay lang?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, let's meet again by 4 p.m. Enjoy your break.
Okay. Thank
Hello everyone, I'm back. Hope you're still.
Hello.
I hope nandiyan pa rin kayo lahat. No?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes po.
Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions so far sa mga diniscuss ko? Are you confused? You want to clarify something? You have any violent reactions? No?
None so far.
Wala naman. Naiintindihan po ang lahat ng aking sinasabi? Everything? Charles and Paul, do you understand everything that I say? Do they have difficulty understanding some Tagalogs that I use?
I don't really understand the Tagalog, but I mean I get what you're saying. With the slides, I get the general idea. So,
Yeah, the Holy Spirit will tell you. Sir Charles, I believe the Holy Spirit will help you understand, no? And also Paul.
the
Paul.
Great Spirit.
Yeah, thank you. Paul, do you have anything to clarify? Sir Paul?
So sorry, I don't know if the speaker's working there. Is that on?
But everything that I've explained, do you understand?
Everything is crystal clear. Thank you.
Okay, very good. That's great. All right. So if you will study the Genesis, no, let me continue. If you study Genesis, because Genesis is the only book where you will understand the beginning of man. It's the only book who will tell us how everything started. And in that book, you will see that the male was prepared to be the foundation in the marriage. Whatever the man will decide to do later on, he is already equipped with the necessary tools, to become an effective leader, an effective husband, effective father. But here's one thing that we should know, although we have all the tools to make us qualify to the next decision that we will make, we still have to learn it. We still have to understand how to use the tools. No? For example, if I give you a hammer, if I give you a saw, if I give you everything or all the tools that is needed for you to be a carpenter, would that automatically qualify you to be a carpenter? Syempre hindi. Of course not. Even though you have the tools, you still have to study how to be a good carpenter. That's what God did to us. He gave all the tools that we needed. But it does not necessarily mean that we are already qualified as a husband, to become a husband, to become a father. So if you will study Genesis chapter 2, the male was being prepared to be the foundation in the marriage. And you will see the design of the marriage from chapter 2 until the chapter 3, until the time they disobeyed the instructions not to touch the tree, not to touch the fruit from the middle of the garden, the tree from the middle of the garden. The foundation in the family is the male and the female. So if you want to see the sequence of how the human race started, you will see in this sequence. Look at this. The human being cycle started from the male, then the female. But remember that there will be no marriage if there was no female who agreed to the proposal of the male. So the male will remain a single, the male will remain alone if he was not able to convince any female to live with him or to come or have a relationship with him. So when these two products join their bloods, they create a covenant called marriage. Marriage originally in Hebrew is also called gems. Gems, precious stones. The fusion of two precious stones. The male is a precious product to the creator, as well as the female. They are both born leaders. They have both the capacity to lead a country, to lead an organization, to lead an institution. Both of them have that capacity, have that power. But the equation will change once both of them decided to create an institution called marriage. There is only one leader in every institution. And it is the male who was tasked to lead the institution called marriage. So when the male who should lead the marriage does not function as a leader, the female will take over. And over time, the male will not be happy about it. Hindi ka matutuwa, male, kapag nag-take over yung wife in your marriage to lead. Magdidesisyon yan, mag-i-implement yan ng mga desisyon na hindi ikukonsulta sa'yo. Bakit? Kasi hindi ka leader eh. Kasi hindi mo pinapakita that you are taking the lead. So how will your wife trust you with decisions kung hindi ka marunong manindigan? Diba? How will your wife trust your judgment kung hindi ka naman nakitaan ng paninindigan sa mga desisyon mo? The female who has the tool to lead also will take over your role as a leader in your marriage, and you will feel dominated. And you will not like it. You will not be happy about it. Husbands, you will not be happy your wife dominating you. Why? Because it is naturally your job to run the affairs of the marriage. But you are not doing your job. So she will take over your job. And you will never like it. I promise you. So when the marriage, a covenant was made, of course, children, you will produce children. But again, this will only happen if you are capable, if your physical body is capable of producing children. So there will be problems if one of you desires to have lots of children, but your spouse cannot bear. You will have problems with that. Cannot bear a child. So why not address that as early as now? Magpakonsulta na kayo sa doktor. Kung capable ka bang makabuntis or capable ka bang mabuntis. You have to check that, because if one of you desires to have a child and you as a wife does not want a child for now because you are preserving your shape, your sexiness, then you have a different mentality and your marriage will shake. Magkakaproblema kayo, sigurado yan. Bakit? Because magkaiba kayo ng mentality. Because you have a different mentality. Di sana hindi ka muna nag-asawa. Di sana hindi ka muna nagpakasal kung hindi mo pa pala gusto ng bata. Kung hindi mo pa pala gustong mag-anak. Dahil hindi mo pa kayang maging nanay. Di sana hindi ka muna nag-asawa. The same with the husband. Kung hindi mo kayang gampanan yung obligasyon, if you cannot perform the obligations of being the husband, sana hindi ka muna nakipagrelasyon. So don't enter into a marriage just because you like sex. Couples? Don't enter into a marriage with a different mentality because you are not fulfilling the purpose of the marriage. What is that? Which is to give each other's expectations. Okay? Do not marry with the wrong mentality. Because that is the disorder being required by the courts whenever they annul or invalidate a marriage. They are looking for that disorder from each of you. And that is called psychological incapacity. That is unwillingness. Psychologically incapacitated to perform the essential obligations of marriage. Do not get married with that kind of mentality. Because that's the same source of disorder that the court will use as the basis to nullify your marriage. Okay? I hope that is very clear to both of you. So when you create children, of course, you will create family. You are now called as a family. With a good number of families, you create community. And with majority communities having in a particular land, that can be called a nation. So that is the sequence of the human being cycle. So if there are problems in every nation, you will just have to go back. Look at this. When social ills rise, you just have to go back. When a nation is full of crimes, when a nation is full of problems, you just go back to the community. There must be some problems within the community. And what to look for in the community? You check the family members. There might be some problems in the family members. What if you cannot find the problem in the family? Check the marriage. There might be some dysfunctioning on the part of the male or the female. If you follow the two to tango principle, the male will never malfunction if there is a female, if there's a malfunctioning female or a functioning female or vice versa. If there's a dysfunctional female, there must be a male or a husband not doing his job, not giving his obligations, not doing his obligations to his wife, and vice versa. Okay? So as simple as checking backwards to know the truth of the problem. Okay? So I'll move to the next slides. So I had to cut some slides. When social ills rise, hold on. Okay. Any questions so far?
We're good, we're good.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. So the male was prayed to be the foundation of the marriage, as I've said, and you activated the relationship, which means You will be called a husband. That will be your role. And let's get to know the truth about husband, where it all started. It says, is the one that binds the house together. From the word house, bond. The one who binds the house together. And that is given only to the males. It's connecting and keeping together the whole family. A man who betrothed was esteemed from the time a husband. Only the Bible can give us the correct definition of husband. Father, when you bear a child, you will be called father. In Greek, it is from the word pater. In Hebrew, it is Abba, which means source, sustainer, provider, the strength, protector. Whatever comes out from you as a source, you will have to sustain the needs of that product that came out from you. You will be the provider for everything that the product needs to grow naturally. You will be the source of the baby's strength, and you are expected to be the protector of that product that you source. Okay? And you will also notice that in the old times, whenever they describe something, they use symbols or they use the shapes of animals like this one. Father, as given in this definition of Hebrew words, they liken it to an ox which is strong. And the letter also has the meaning of strong. The second letter is the picture of the tent or house where the family resides. When combined, these letters form the meaning, the strength of the house. So this is the definition given by the human beings. But if you ask the Creator, what is the meaning of father? He will give you this definition, that you are the source of that product that you activated or produce. That even your wife, whom you decided to marry now, is your source, or you are the source of your wife. That's the reason why instead of God forming the woman from the dust, he did not do so, but he formed the woman from the rib of a man, of the man. Which means the moment you activated your need for that woman, for you to function well, you become her source. You become her sustainer. You become her provider. You become the source of her strength. And you become her protector. This is what she expects from you as a husband. And that's why they have this feeling that their money remains theirs. And your money is also theirs. Ang pera mo, husband, ay pera din nila. Ang pera nila ay pera lang nila. Kailangan mong maintindihan niya.
Pwede po bang mag-disagree doon?
Paano? Sige nga, justify. Explain. Explain why you disagree.
I just disagree. I just don't think that kailangan maging sole provider and source ng family. Kasi
yeah, sa ngayon, pag may trabaho ang babae, she can still provide. Pero pag nanganak yan, dahan-dahan niyang mababawasan ng energy to work. And sooner or later, magdi-decide yan na mag-alaga na lang ng kanyang mga anak. And also you, pag nakita mo napapabayaan ng mga anak mo, you will also encourage your wife to just stay at home. And you will be left alone as the provider. Gaano ka ready pag dumating yung time na yan? Di ba? Who is this talking? Your name, please.
Francis.
Francis. O, gano'n ka ka-ready pag dumating yung time na yan? Dahil pag nag-asawa ang babae, manganganak yan, hihina ang energy, mababawasan ng kanyang desire to work because they expect the husbands to provide, to be the provider. Ngayon, makakatulong sa yan habang working, habang wala pang anak. Pero tingnan mo, pag nagkaanak na yan, hahaba lagi matulog yan. Di ba, girls?
Agree.
Oh.
Agree.
Oh, gaano kayo ka-ready, husbands? When that time comes, you will be the sole provider. Oh. Gaano ka ka-ready, Francis? Kaya ngayon pa lang sinasabi ko na sa'yo. Sa inyo, mga husbands, if you are not ready to face that, huwag ka muna mag-asawa. Ha?
To give all
kang-
the money to her. I'm not so sure about that. Pero, syempre, shared yung financial decision making. Hindi naman forget pera ko ay pera niya na.
Ayaw mo pumayag doon talaga eh. hindi naman invento yan ng mga babae. Talaga pag pera mo, magiging kanila yan, aangkinin nila yan because of this natural build, natural design sa produkto. Tira mo yung katawan ng babae, yung design, they are built to receive and incubate. The man's body was designed to give. Yan lang eh, hindi na pwedeng pagtalunan yan eh. Di ba? The woman's body are designed to receive. Tanggap lang ng tanggap yan. Kaya kahit galit yan, bigyan mo ng pera, galit pa rin yan. Tatanggapin yung pera mo, pero galit pa rin yan. Ito yung mga hindi mo pa nakikita sa ngayon, Francis. Pinapakita ko na sa ngayon habang maaga pa para maging ready ka. Di ba, girls?
Totally agree.
Oh, ngayon pa lang ha. Kung hindi kaya, hindi matanggap, at bibigay lahat ng pera ko sa kanya. Mentality, watch out. Watch out for that kind of mentality. That is a danger. That is a warning sign. Oh, alam mo ba, the more you give money to your wife, the more they become happy. Pero kailangan may kasamang love, hindi lang money. May kapartner yun na love, care, attention, everything. Eh, yan nga yung definition ng father eh. You become the source. Yan ang meaning eh. Bakit hindi tayo mag-agree dito? Yan ang meaning ng father. Oh, hindi huwag ka mag-asawa if you cannot accept the true meaning of father. Diba? Yan yung mga mentality na dangerous pag pumasok ka sa marriage. That will become a problem to your wife sooner or later. Okay? This is the purpose of this counseling. Kung ipipilit din natin yung gusto natin, wala kang i-work out. Because there is already a design in the marriage that you have to fit yourselves in. Parang ganito yan eh. May building na may design na, tapos nag-apply ka to help the company realize that picture in the design. Hindi ka po pwedeng mag-suggest doon ng mga gusto mong positioning ng CR, dapat nandito. Yung parking, dapat nandito. Hindi ka na pwedeng mag-suggest na ganyan. Because tapos na yung design. Anong obligasyon mo? Sumunod sa design. Okay? Kaya nga sinasabi ko, huwag kang papasok sa marriage na yung gusto mo rin yung masusunod. For example, na yung pagkatao mong dala-dala, maldita ako. pagpasensyahan mo ako dahil maldita ako nung pinakasalan mo eh. Hindi pwede yun, girl. Lalayasan ka ng husband mo. Kailangan mo nang i-fit yung sarili mo dun sa design ng marriage. And what is that? Submission. Kukontra ka lagi sa gusto ng husband mo. Gusto mo lagi ikaw masusunod. Problema yun sa husband. Kaya dalawang sides yung kailangan i-address natin dito. Kailangan yung maintindihan pareho that you have to fit yourselves to the template of the marriage, how it was designed. So you cannot go to marriage bringing your own design. You're not entitled to that. You are not entitled to that. Bringing your own idea of marriage design. Okay? Kagaya nito, o husband. Let's read the definition. The true definition of husband. Can you read this to us, Leonard, please? Mababasa mo ba?
Hindi ko po makita, sir. Madaming hatch.
Ayan, inusog ko na. Kita mo na?
Hindi pa rin po.
Hindi pa rin. Teka. Yan.
Yung
Yan,
sa
pwede
baba
na.
po, no?
Oo, yes. Nasa baba.
Meron po kasing naka-box dito na sa gitna.
Meron po nakaharang na something, ano pa.
Oo, ayan yung ating video. Ayan. Pwede na?
Hindi pa rin po. Yung nasa baba po.
Teka.
Meron pa siyang square or rectangle.
Ayan.
Na,
Pwede na?
hindi pa din.
Hindi pa din po.
Ayan.
Hindi pa din po. May may rectangle po sa gitna.
Oo nga, minimize ko na eh. Yung rectangle. Okay, ako na lang. Husband etymology. Socrates defined kanina, merong origination. Merong pinanggalingan lagi yung bawat word. So, for us to understand the meaning of it, we have to go backwards. Kung saan siya nagsimula. Nabasa nyo kanina, it is from the word house, bond, the one who binds the house together. Nagbibigkis, nagtatali sa bahay. In late Old English, in another meaning, for you to be able to bond the house, kailangan ikaw ay occupier and tiller of the soil. You are the master of a house. You are the tiller, you are the cultivator. Tiller, cultivator. Siyempre, this is similar to planting na para lumago yung tanim mo, you have to till, you have to put fertilizer, you have to make sure na fruitful yan, no? May mga process ng pagtatanim pa nga na kailangan mo maintindihan para mag-grow talaga, maging fruitful yung tanim mo. So yan po yung role ng husband. Paano mag-grow ang pamilya? Paano mag-grow ang wife? Kasama yung wife sa kailangan mong itil, kailangan mong i-cultivate. Someday, your wife will expect you na matuto sa iyo kasi the husband is the teacher of the house. Teacher of the wife. Nasa 1 Corinthians yan. Mamaya, I will show you the verse. That's why, wala nagtatagal na babae sa lalaking walang direksyon ang buhay. Walang nagtatagal na babae sa lalaking walang paninindigan. Bakit? Because the woman expects the man to cultivate her. The woman expects the man to have a vision. Kung paano siya makakapag-provide sa kanyang pamilya pag siya na lang yung naiwang provider. Kaya hindi pwedeng mag-stay ka as employee, senior citizen ka na, empleyado ka pa. May problema tayo dyan. Lalong-lalo na yung wife mo. Mamumroblema yan. Kung senior ka na, empleyado ka pa rin. Siyempre, kung magkano lang ibabayad sa'yo ng employer mo, yun lang ang value mo. Yun lang ang budget namin na kaibigay sa'yo. Wala kang magagawa doon. Paano kung lumalaki yung pamilya mo? Di ba? Naisip niyo ba yun? Ngayon pa lang, ang dami nang pinapatay. Pinapatay sa konsumisyon, pinapatay sa gutom, pinapatay sa stress, sa taas ng gasolina, taas ng bilihin. O, alam mo ba kung sino mga hindi affected? Hindi 100% affected, ha? Maaaring 50% lang sila affected. Alam mo kung sino yung mga yan? Yung mga nagnenegosyo, yung mga negosyante. Because if you remain employee, someone is giving value to you. Someone is dictating your value. Ito lang yung value mo. Ito lang yung babayad namin sa'yo. But if you have a business mentality, you will dictate your value. Di ba? Walang pwede mag-dictate ng value mo. Ikaw mismo yung mag-dictate ng value mo. When you become a businessman. Kaya maaga pa lang tinutuklas na yan eh. Kaya kung hindi mo pa natuklasan yan, tapos bigla ka nag-asawa, ang buhay ninyo will become a daily routine of eat, sleep, sex, work, eat, sleep, sex, work, eat, sleep, sex, work. For 10 years. Baka 5 years pa lang, give up na kayo eh. Baka mapagod na yung kasama mo, lalo na yung wife. Wife ang unang sumusuko dyan. Kaya pinakamaraming nag-file ng annulment, tingnan ninyo ang statistics sa Office of the Solicitor General, pinakamaraming nag-file ng annulment ay mga kababaihan. For the first 5 years of marriage, sumusuko yan. Paano sumusuko? Ang lalaki, gusto lang niya, sex, tulog, pasok. Sex, tulog, pasok. Sex, tulog, pasok. Tingnan nyo. First 5 years, very crucial period of relationship. Napakataas ng annulment of marriage cases. Check nyo sa Rappler. State of the Nation's Marital Woes. Tingnan nyo yung lalabas dyan sa Google. State of the Nation's Marital Woes. The findings of Rappler. First 5 years, maraming sumusukong babae sa mga husband na walang direksyon ang buhay. Hindi sila matutuwa kung kain, tulog, trabaho lang ang gagawin ninyo for the first 5 years. I'm telling you. Ha, husbands? Kaya wag magpakakampante dahil mapapagod ang wife ninyo sa first 5 years sa ganyang klase ng routine. Kaya yung routine na yan, describe ko sa inyo na kain, tulog, pasok, kain, tulog, pasok. Ang routine na yan, ang tawag dyan ay bilog. Bilog. Circle. And a circle is a shape that has no destination. A circle is a shape that has no direction. Tanungin mo si Moira kung ayaw mo maniwala. Moira, 3 years of marriage, sumumuko na. Bakit? Sabi ng husband, ginawa daw siyang utos-utusan. Kaya daw siya nagtaksil. Bakit? Bakit ka naging utos-utusan? Pag may direksyon ba buhay mo, Leonard, papayag kang mautos-utusan lang ng wife mo? Ha, Leonard?
Hindi naman po.
Siyempre, hindi. Ba't ka papayag maging utusan? Meron kang nakita mo yung goal mo, nakita mo yung focus mo sa buhay at busy-busy ka sa pagtupad sa goal na yon. Bakit ka magiging utusan? Nag-asawa ka ng fulfilled woman, nag-asawa ka ng maid na woman, na kagaya ni Moira, tapos niyaya mo pakasal, magtatanong sa'yo si Moira, kasi bawat tulog niyan, may bayad yan, kahit natutulog yan. She was already a maid singer, entertainer, performer. na kahit tulog, papasok ang pera sa bangko. And here you are, inasawa mo yung isang babae na maid, na gaya ni Moira. Ang unang itatanong ni Moira sa'yo, kasama ako sa'yo, sige, saan mo ko dadalhin? Saan mo ko ngayon dadalhin? Nakuha nyo? Yung message, nakuha nyo? Naintindihan nyo?
Yes.
Oo, kasi parang di kayo naniniwala eh. Parang di kayo naniniwala. Si Pokwang, tanungin nyo rin. Ginagawa ko sila example because they are public personalities. Nasa internet lang yung kanilang buhay. They are public personalities na madaling gawing example. Pokwang, napagod lang daw sila. Nag-asawa ng foreigner yun, di ba? Akala mo ba, porke foreigner eh, nasa pader ka na nakasandal? Eh, ang nangyari kasi kay Pokwang, Pokwang is also a already made woman. Kumikita na yan, kahit nung single pa siya. Nag-asawa ng foreigner, naging tagaluto, naging taong bahay. Oh. Napagod daw si Pokwang. Ano pa ang pangalawang problema niya? Communication. Hindi sila magkaintindihan. Hirap si Pokwang mag-English. Nandun yan, pag ginugel nyo. Okay? Hindi nakita ni Pokwang yun. Bakit? Kasi in love siya nung siya ay sumusumpa. Bakit hindi natin nakikita yung mga magiging problema natin balang araw? Kasi daw, in love tayo. And that's the reason why sinasabi nila, ang pag-ibig ay bulag. Love is blind daw. Why? Because you will not divulge anything that is not for your best interest. Ba't mo sasabihin to? Para saan? Ba't mo aaminin na ganito ka? Adi iwanan ka kagad niyan. Di ba? Oh. Kaya ngayon pa lang, sinasabi ko na sa inyo, yung mga pwede nyong, yung magiging problema, hindi pwede. Yung talagang magiging problema ninyo balang araw. When you bring the wrong mentality in marriage, in the institution that you are creating. So, the marriage as designed in the Garden of Eden, ito inisa-isa ko na, hindi ko napapabasa yung verses, pero I encourage you to read Genesis chapter 2 because this is what you will find out. The marriage design you will see in the Garden of Eden. By the way, garden means order in Hebrew. Okay? Garden means order in Hebrew. So ano ang nangyari? The man or Adam possesses the 5 traits as foundation of a strong husband. Ano yung 5 traits? It's on the next slide. What else as designed? The man will leave his father and mother to join his wife. It is there in the Garden of Eden. You must not bring your wife to your parents' house. This is not a suggestion. This is not a recommendation. This is a law that you have to follow. This is a natural law that you have to follow. Do not bring home your wife to your parents' house and live there to enjoy free rental, free food. When you bring your wife to your parents' house, it only means that you are not ready for marriage. You are using your parents to feed you after getting married. You are just using your parents when the natural law requires you to leave your father and mother to join your wife. And there is no law requiring the woman to leave his father and mother. Only the male was instructed was given that instruction. Because when the wife gets frustrated with you, she will just go back to her parents. Your wife will just go back naturally to her biological parents who provided her the love, care, and attention na hindi niya nakita sa'yo nung kinuha mo siya. So she must experience the same environment for her to function well, para hindi siya maging dysfunctional sa inyong marriage. She expects that. She expects that from you being a tiller, being a cultivator. She must become fruitful in your relationship. Otherwise, she will leave you, husband. What else? You, as husband, have already fulfilled your personal goals, and now your goals for the family that you created, for the institution that you created. What else? Hindi ka dapat breadwinner sa iyong mga kapatid at magulang. Huwag ka mag-aasawa hanggat hindi tapos yung obligasyong pinasa sa iyo ng magulang mo. Now, irresponsible parents, irresponsible, no? I will emphasize this. Irresponsible parents are those who transferred their obligations to their children. Irresponsible yung tawag ko dyan. Yung bibigyan mo ng obligasyon yung panganay mo na pag-aralin yung mga kapatid niya. Irresponsible yan. Bakit? Hindi naman niya ginawa yun eh. Sino ba ang source ng mga kapatid niya? Kaya kung ginawa kang breadwinner ng parents mo, huwag kang mag-aasawa hanggat hindi sila nakakatapos dahil magiging kaaway nila yung mapapangasawa mo. Dahil yung attention na dating 100% nilang nai-enjoy sa'yo, yung perang 100% nilang nai-enjoy sa'yo, ay biglang mahahati dahil sa pag-aasawa mo. Makikialam ang wife mo sa mga ipapadala mo sa iyong mga kapatid at sa pamilya mo. Lalo na pag nagkaanak kayo. O, tapos nagpapaaral ka pa rin ng mga kapatid mo. Tama lang na maging mabuting anak. Yung nagmamalasakit ka sa magulang mo, pero yung tanggapin mo yung obligasyon, gawin mo yon na buong puso mong tinanggap, pero wag kang munang mag-aasawa. Dahil siguradong magmamalfunction ang inyong relationship as husband and wife. Lalo na kung employed ka lang. Okay lang kung business-minded ka eh. May business kang pinapatakbo eh. Unlimited yung income na papasok sa'yo eh. Because hinahabol ka ng mga customer because of your fruitful nature. Ando ka na ba sa point na yun? Are you in that point where you are already fruitful and people are coming to you to get your fruit? Nandun ka na ba sa point na yun? Unlimited yung income mo. Kahit ilan yung pakainin mo, hindi ka may stress sa mga bayaran. What else? Overflowing with love to himself. Tapos ka na ba na maging binata? Nagsawa ka na ba sa magiging binata? Na-enjoy mo na ba ang world tour mo? Na-enjoy mo na ba ang mga savings mo? Nakapag-invest ka na ba sa lupa't bahay para sa sarili mo? Or baka nag-i-invest ka ng lupa't bahay para sa magulang mo? Problema din yun. Tapos bigla ka nag-asawa. O, yung hinuhulugan mong bahay para sa parents mo pala. Saan mo ilalagay yung asawa mo ngayon? Ha, husband? Kailangan itama yung mentality nyo talaga when you get married. Dahil pag hindi nyo kinaya yung pukpok ng mundo, yung init, yung pressure, pag yan hindi nyo kinaya, bibigay kayo. Sigurado yan. You will really get out of that toxic relationship. Ang magiging tawag nyo dyan, toxic relationship eh. Paano ba naging toxic yun? Sino gumawa nun? Di ba? Who created that toxic relationship? Tayo din. Tayo din. Bakit? Because we are not ready for it. We were not ready for it. Oh, stable dapat ang job mo habang you're adding value to yourself. Hina-harness mo ang iyong kakayahan habang may boss ka pa because someday ikaw naman yung boss. You're looking forward to having your own company, your own business. Tinuruan tayo ng ating kultura na pag wala kang puhunan, don't go into business. That is wrong. Wala kang puhunan, ba't ka magninegosyo? Di ba? This society is giving you doubt. To doubt yourself. Yan ang turo ng mundo. Pero tingnan mo mga Chinese. Galing sa religion yan eh. Yung mga turo na ganyan, yung wala kang puhunan, huwag ka mag-business. When in truth and in fact, yung kakayahan mo to have a business is built into yourself. Nandoon sa sarili mo. Kagaya ng buto na naka-built in yung success para maging fruitful tree. It's the same capacity built into you as a human being. E tingnan mo yung mga Chinese. They have good mentality. Pag may pumasok na problema sa society, sa mundo, it's an opportunity for business. Kahit saan mag-landing yan, kahit saan pumuntang mundo yan, pag yan lumapag, you will see a Chinese business in your community. Because of their good mentality. Walang crisis sa kanilang dictionary. The same with Japanese and Koreans. Walang crisis sa kanilang mentality. Every problem is a business for them. O, tingnan mo, nung pumasok yung pandemic, may nag-iiyak ba sa kanila? Wala kami makain. Wala kang makikita ng Chinese na iiyak-iyak dyan sa pandemic. Dumami kagad yung gumagawa ng face mask. Ha? O, tayo mga Pinoy, pag pinasok ng crisis, wawa naman. Lord, paano na to, Lord? Paano na yung pamilya ko? Paano na yung credit cards ko? Paano na yung mga bayaran namin, Lord? No? Yan ang tinuro sa atin. O, tapos yung magiging asawa mo, ganyan din yung mentality. Delikado ka, girl. Ha? Pagka ganyan din mentalidad ng husband mo. Because the husband is supposed to be strong, standing, taking the lead, leading the family, making sure na may ma-provide siya. And cultivating her wife according to the picture that he has in mind. Husbands, as cultivator, gusto mo makatulong sa iyo yung wife mo, kung ano yung itsura ng picture na yan na nasa utak mo, gawin mo siya according to what you prefer to her. Trabaho mo yun bilang husband. Gusto mo matutong maging magaling magluto yung wife mo, i-enroll mo sa cooking school, culinary school. Gusto mo siyang gumaling mag-English, i-enroll mo sa language school. you will reap what you sow. Ikaw ang magre-reap niyan. Sa'yo din babalik ang benefits niyan. Di ba no, girls? May nakikinig pa ba sa akin?
Yeah. Yes.
Talaga, ha? Are you learning? Natututo ba kayo?
Yes.
Sa lang sumasagot. Are you all learning? Learning, girls?
Yes.
Ayun, thank you. How about the husbands? Are you all learning?
Yes
Husbands?
po, of course po.
Oh, dalawa, tatlo, apat. Definitely. Thank you. I am correcting your mentality para magsama kayo ng matagal. Okay? What else? Ready for marriage? Doon mo lang masasabi, uy, pwede na ako mag-asawa. Mag-search kayo ng mga taong successful. Bakit sila naging successful? Because they have the right mentality. May mga nakita nga ako sa video, no? O sa balita. Aba binata pa lang, may gas station na. Yun ang mga dapat binapanood natin or binabasa natin, hindi yung mga walang kwentang video. Inspiring dapat yung pinag-aaksaya natin ng panahon sa social media. Mga inspiring stories, inspiring articles, because that will help us create the idea on how to develop our seed, on how to nourish the fruits na naka-built in yung success sa ating katauhan. Now, let's move to the woman. Ano dapat yung woman according to the design in the Garden of Eden? Tinataglay din yung 5 traits as foundation of a strong wife, which is explained in the next slides. Joins her husband in marriage and submits to the rulership of the man, because Genesis chapter 3 verse 7, sabi ng Diyos nung sila ay magkasala, sabi ng Diyos sa babae, madadagdagan ng hirap mo sa panganganak. Now, pangalawa, your desire will always be for your husband. Lagi mong nanaisin yung husband mo sa tabi mo. Bakit? Kasi nag-asawa ka eh. Pangatlo, he will rule over you. Google nyo yan. Genesis chapter 3 verse 17. He will rule over you. Your husband will be your ruler, which means king, leader, king. That means ruler. Okay? Kaya hindi pwede talagang pareho kayong ruler sa marriage ninyong dalawa. Anybody with 2 heads is a monster. Masabi ko na ba ito kanina? Anything with 2 heads is a monster. Gulo ang ibibigay nun kapag dalawa kayong leading the marriage. You accept your husband as a teacher. Totoo naman, you expect your husband to guide you. You expect your husband to teach you. Ang tanong, is your husband qualified to be a teacher to you? Because it will be a problem for both of you kung mas marunong ka kaysa sa husband mo. Yung husband mo, napaka-timid. Yung husband mo, pinapaubaya lahat sa'yo yung pagdidesisyon. Sa umpisa, okay sa'yo yan, matutuwa ka. Sooner or later, mapapansin mo, ano ba to? Bakit ako na lang lagi? Bakit hindi siya magpakalalaki? Problema yan sa husband mo kung pinalaki siya ng single mom. Nilayasan ng tatay niya. Lumaki sa nanay. Paano niya malalaman kung paano maging lalaki? Hindi niya nakita yung tatay niya as a model. Kanino ba niya dapat tingnan or dapat makita yung mga model na tatay? Alam ka naman sa kapitbahay, di ba? Oh. Pag lumaki yung husband mo sa single mom, problema sa kanya yan, challenge sa kanya yan. How to become a real man. Okay? Kaya pag hindi ka mas marunong sa wife mo, husbands, magte-take over siya. Ipapakita niya sa'yo yung karunungan niya, husband. And you will not like it. You will never like it. Sa umpisa siguro, hahanga ka sa asawa mo. Sa wife mo, uy, talino ng wife ko ah. Oh, sooner or later, magiging habit yan, magiging habitual yan. Na siya na yung tagaturo sa'yo, siya na magdidirect sa'yo. Isang araw, bigla ka na lang sa sermonan yan. Ang tanga-tanga mo naman, di mo pa ba maaalala, di mo pa matandaan? Yung sabi ko sa'yo dati. Oh, mapapagod din yan because hindi niya yung trabaho. Magmamalfunction na siya. Magmamalfunction ang isang product na hindi nagaganap yung purpose, yung sarili niyang purpose. Anong purpose yun? To submit to you, to your rulership. Eh, hindi nangyayari eh. It's not happening. So she will malfunction. She will abuse. From the word abnormal use of the purpose. Doon galing yung salitang abuse. From the word abnormal use. Why? Because your purpose is not manifesting as a husband. Okay? Kaya pag nakita mo yung wife mo na nagbabasa ng 5 libro, 10 libro yung babasahin mo, husbands. Ha, husbands, are you listening? Because it is required for you to be qualified, to be more knowledgeable than your wife. Because sooner or later, you will not like it. Pag pinakita niyang smarter siya sa'yo, may insulto ka. Husbands, you will just be insulted when your wife shows that she is smarter than you. Beware of that. What else? The woman should align her other goals to the husband's exclusive goal to the family. So this is where submission takes in. This is where submission takes place. You put yourself in the goal of your husband, in the vision, in the dream of your husband, yung pangarap niya sa pamilya. You put yourself there because you are not allowed to have your own vision, because you are supposed to complete that vision during your singleness. So when you get married, you will align your goal, unfinished goal if there is, to the goal of your husband. Because you cannot have 2 visions in the house. You cannot have 2 separate goals in the house. 2 means DI, Delta India. So 2 goals, 2 visions, that gives you division. How would that happen? You have your own goal. And your spouse have his or her own goals too. Pareho kayong may goals. So ang gagawin ninyo? You will focus, you will spend time for pursuing your respective goals. Uuwi ka sa oras na gusto mo. Bakit? Kasi busy ka. Marami kang kausap na nakakatulong ma-fulfill yung goal mo. Marami kang network of friends, professional people who talks to you all the time in achieving your goal. The same as your husband. He is pursuing his goal and hoping you could join also in supporting his goals, but you are busy pursuing your own goal. So what do you create in the middle? You create a space. You create a space between the two of you. At yan yung space na gustong-gusto ng mga salisigang. Mga salisigang. People who takes advantage while your husband is not beside you. People who takes advantage of your attention when your wife is not beside you. As simple as that. And I hope you all imagine that situation of being busy individually. Na hindi na kayo nagkikita sa bahay, hindi na kayo nagkakausap sa dinner because uuwi ka sa gusto mong oras. Pag nagising, tulog pa yung isa dahil puyat. Aalis, pupunta sa kanyang work. Magkikita, magkukumustahan na lang sa cellphone, sa video. Oh, is that what you call marriage? Is that what you call relationship? Is that what you call giving the need of the other? Giving the needs of each other? Paano pa kayo magse-sex niyan? Kung pareho kayong busy. Di ba? So, don't wonder. Huwag kayong magtaka, no? Don't wonder if why infidelity happens. Those are the situations that will surely bring you to commit infidelity. Those are the instances that will surely make one violate the trust. Okay? Not a breadwinner to her siblings or parents. Again, do not get married kung ginawa kang breadwinner din ng iyong magulang at ikaw ang magpapaaral sa mga kapatid mo. Do not get married yet until you are finished doing the obligations that you accepted transferred to you by your parents. Do not get married until hindi ka tapos dyan. Overflowing with love to herself. Wala kang obligasyon sa kapatid mo, sa mga pamilya mo, sa parents mo, wala kang obligasyon. Tinapos na nila yung obligasyon nila sa iyo, pinag-aral ka, naging professional ka na. 'Di ba? May yung mga parents na tama yung mentality, alam niyo kung sino 'yon? Yung mga parents na nasa tamang mentalidad, yung hindi nila inuutusan or ine-expect yung anak nila to give back the favor. Yung bang nasa sayo na kung ibibigay mo yung favor o hindi. Yung bang nasa sayo na sa pagdidesisyon mo kung dapat mo ba silang tulungan o hindi. Kasi it will depend on your capacity. May kapasidad ka ba to give back the favor to them? Di ba hindi naman? Kung wala kang capacity, ba't mo pipilitin yung sarili mo? Di ba? And those only comes from parents who have the right mentality. Dahil sila yung source mo, obligasyon nila, alam nila, naintindihan nila, na sila yung magbibigay ng lahat ng kailangan mo sa buhay. Obligasyon nila yun eh. They are your source. So bakit ka bibigyan ng obligasyon? Diba? Ba't ka papasahan ng obligasyon? So yun yung magulang na may tamang mentality. Alam nyo ba, honestly, nung yung anak kong lalaki, nung nagtatrabaho na siya, hindi bigyan ako ng pera, nahihiya akong tanggapin. Oo, it's natural. Kasi hindi ko kailangan yun eh. Hindi ko siya inobliga. Kaya binabalik ko sa kanya, anak, that is not my job. I'm not asking you to do that to me. Enjoy your money. Sa'yo yan. Pera mo yan. Pinaghirapan mo yan. Save it for your future. Hindi ko tinatanggap. Bakit? I can make money on my own. And it's my obligation to feed him, to let him grow as a functional adult. Kung ganoon sana ang mentalidad ng bawat magulang. Naku, konti lang ang problema ng Pilipinas. Konti lang. Maliit na porsyento lang. Kung lahat ng naging magulang ay may ganyang mentalidad. Ready for marriage? When you have the right mentality. Now let's go to the 5 traits. The 5 traits that every man needs to qualify for marriage as a husband and as a father. From Dr. Miles Monroe, this is a 10-minute video. Please watch and listen carefully. Ay mag-play. Play. Ay mag-play. Wait lang ha. I will go to the video directly. I will go to the video directly. Ayaw niya mag-play dito. Ayaw mo mag-play ha. Hold on. Ayan. Hold on ha. Nag-hang yung aking laptop. My goodness. Ngayon ka pa mag-hang. Sandali lang. Bakit laging may nakakalabas sa room? Lagi bumabalik. Nadi-disconnect ba kayo? Baka nami-miss nyo na yung ibang sinasabi ko. Sayang. Ha? Okay, ito na. Wait lang ha. Pupunta na ako doon sa video mismo. Videos. Counseling. Okay. Here you go. The 5 traits that you need. Wait lang. All clear? Malakas po? Clear sa inyo?
Yeah.
Okay. So watch carefully, listen carefully, and learn.
When you read the first marriage in history, it's found in the Constitution of our country. Section Genesis, subsection 2, Article 24. Here's what it says. First of all, it says, God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden. It's very important. The word Eden means spot. It means delightful spot. It means open door. It's a complicated word. It's a spot on the earth where, for the moment, God has an open door from heaven on earth. That's where God put the man, in his presence. It's the presence of God. But when God made the first male, he put him in this presence. The first thing God gave the man was his presence. Eden. So the first thing a man needs is not a woman. The most important thing a man needs, a male needs, is the presence of God. And a woman should meet you in the presence of God. Some women amaze me. They leave the presence of God, go in the bush to find a brother, and then try to drag him back to the presence. Come on, you're going to come, brother. Oh, yes, you will. Eve met Adam in Eden. And then the next thing God told the male, one simple word. Genesis 2 verse 15. Work. Can I say it again? Work. God gave man work before woman. All right, everybody say work before woman. That means a man needs a job before he gets a woman. God's priorities are very clear. The third thing God told the man, Genesis 2:15, he says cultivate. Cultivate means to bring out the best in everything around you, to maximize the potential of everything around you, to make everything fruitful. He only said that to the male. That's why God will never give a male a finished woman. The male was created by God to create what he wants. The woman you're looking for, brother, doesn't exist. She's in your head. Your job is to take the raw material you married and cultivate it into the woman in your head. So if you've been married for 20 years and you still don't like the product you get, that's your fault. Jesus Christ is a real man. He's a real man. A real man. Jesus Christ has a wife, a woman, beautiful woman. Her name is Klase. He said about his wife, he says, husband, love your wife like I love my wife. Now you can tell us how to do it. He says, you wash her with the word. Then you remove every spot, every wrinkle, every blemish, and present her to yourself. So when you see your husband, just keep telling him, cultivate me, baby, cultivate me, baby, cultivate me, baby. If your wife putting on a little bit of weight and you don't like the fact she's putting on weight, don't criticize her. Wake her up 6 o'clock. Come, baby, let's go jogging. Cultivate you, cultivate you. Come on, baby. Woo, come on, baby. Come on, baby. You don't like her dress? Take her down to Fifth Avenue, and you pay for it. Come on, ladies, help now, ladies, help now, ladies, help now, ladies, help now, ladies. Cultivate me, baby. She can't speak good English. Send her to school and pay for the tuition. The fourth thing God told the man, he says, guard the garden. The male is supposed to be the protector of everything under his care. That's why God gave you a stronger bone frame, a bigger muscle mass, not to abuse the woman, but to protect the woman. The last thing God gave the man was his word. God says, Adam, do not touch the tree. God never told the woman about the tree. Never. Which means the male was the only one who got the word of God. His job was to teach his wife the word of God. Nothing can frustrate a woman faster than this statement. A woman will always ask a man, so what do you think? And that dummy would answer, what do you think? Don't do that, brother. Don't do that. She's looking for knowledge and direction. Now watch this. That was the last command God gave the man. Don't touch the tree. That's verse 15 and 16 and 17. Then in verse 18, God said, it's not good for this man to be alone. Now, don't just read the statement fast. Slow down. It's not good for this man to be alone. What man? The man who is in his presence, working, can cultivate you, can protect you, and teach you the word. Got it, Pastor? So, here's the problem. If you meet a man who don't like his presence, ain't working, can't cultivate you and improve you, can't protect you, and don't know God's word, it is good for that man to be.
So those are the 5 things a man needs before a woman.
Hello, everybody. Are you still there?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
Natuto ba kayo sa pinanood nyo?
Yes po.
Apo.
Thank you. Salamat naman. Teka, hanapin ko ulit yung slides ko. So those are the 5 things that a man should have, should possess. Na from that 5 traits alone, yan yung hindi pwedeng magbago according to circumstances. According to the situation. Hindi yan dapat magbago. Whatever the situation is. Naintindihan nyo yung difference ngayon sa mga binigay nyo example kanina? Na it should be, he should remain a protector kapag ano man ang sitwasyon, ano man ang pressure ng buhay na binibigay sa atin, whatever pressure this life is giving us, he should remain to be a protector, remain to be a cultivator, remain to be to know God, to have connection with his source, to know the word of God. Again, a man without God in his life is a very dangerous man. Because walang paniniwalaan yan, kundi ang sarili lang niya. Walang paniniwalaan yan, kundi yung philosophy ng mga human beings. Yun lang ang susundin niya. If he does not believe in God, he does not operate according to God's design, you are in danger. Women, you are in danger. So the 5 traits, as mentioned in the video, you must be godly. You know God, you must fear God, because if you don't fear God, you fear nothing. You fear no one, that even the laws of the land, the human laws, you will never fear it. Why? Because you are fear of no one. Diba? So it's a dangerous man for a man to not to be godly. It's a dangerous man. And you should be working. You should have vision. You should have leadership qualities that's supposed to be developed, because everything takes a process. It is not automatic that you will have your own vision. And that's the reason why pag dumadami yung mahihirap na family, it only means that they cannot find their vision, purpose in life. Because that purpose is supposed to feed your home with so much blessings. Yun ang magbibigay sa atin ng capacity to sustain everything that we need. Kaya kahit hindi ka mag-pray, kahit hindi tayo magdasal, it will automatically be given to us. Tanungin niyo si Buddha. It's the same philosophy that he noticed. Study the philosophies of Buddha also. Buddha was there before Jesus Christ was born. Kaya yung mga sinasabi niyang mga values, sinasabi na rin ni Jesus eh. Oo, merong part ng life ni Jesus na walang record. Yung time na bata siya, yung from 12 years old hanggang 30 years old, walang record kung nasaan si Jesus Christ. Hindi natin alam, baka nagpunta ng China yan. Baka natuto yan sa mga Chinese philosophers na nauna sa kanya. Because Jesus has to go through a learning process also. Natutunan niya lahat yun until when he reached 30 years of age, alam na niya kung anong purpose niya. Alam na niya kung sino siya. Malinaw na sa kanya yun. Okay? So, you must be a protector to your wife, to your children, to your family. That dapat pag uuwi ang wife mo or pag darating ka, dapat ang maramdaman nila, everything is safe. Daddy is here now. Dapat ganun yung maramdaman ng mga members ng family mo. Kapag opposite, yung nararamdaman nila, tinataguan ka, iniiwasan ka, there must be something wrong. Baka sinisigaw-sigawan mo sila palagi, takot sa'yo, iniiwasan ka, di ba? Baka lagi mainitin ulo mo. How could you be a protector when ikaw mismo nagwawala sa loob ng bahay mo? Di ba? Cultivator, tiller, improves his wife, children. Your entire territory is your home. Bago ka tumulong sa labas, bago mo pagandahin yung community mo, unahin mo muna sa loob ng bahay mo. Law abiding. You fear the laws of men. Takot ka na sumuway sa batas. Dahil pag hindi, madadamay at madadamay ang asawa mo. Madadamay ka, girl. Kapag hindi sumusunod sa batas ang husband mo, damay ka sigurado niyan. Bakit? Asawa ka eh. Oh. Now, sa woman, anong sabi? Helper. You are ezer. Yan ang meaning ng helper sa Greek or sa Hebrew, which means God in the flesh for the husband. Husbands, your wife is God in the flesh. Takbuhan sa oras ng pangangailangan. Kaya, wives, you cannot abuse your opportunity to own your money exclusively. You cannot abuse that. Pag nag-asawa ka na, isave mo yung kinikita mo. Because someday, your husband, pag nagipit yan, you will look for that. He will look for that money na pinagtatrabahuan mo, wife. Because ikaw yung unang dapat takbuhan ng husband mo. Instead na yung kaopisina, instead na yung boss niya. Pag wala matakbuhan yan, wala matakbuhan sa boss, wala matakbuhan sa kaibigan, tatakbo yan sa kanyang ex. Manghihiram sa kanyang ex. Huwag niyo hayaang mangyari yan, wives. Baka hindi lang utang ang ibigay nun, baka hindi lang pera ang itulong nun. Ha? Baka masisi pa siya, ikaw naman kasi, ba't di mo matakbuhan yung wife mo? Ikaw kasi iniwan-iwanan mo pa ako. O ngayon sa akin ka rin pala tatakbo. O, naisip niyo ba 'yon, ha? Ladies, girls. O, virtue protects her body parts. Kapag nag-asawa ka na, hindi na for viewing yung iyong dibdib, ha? Tinatago na 'yan. Hindi na 'yan for viewing purposes ng kalalakihan ng ibang tao. Husband mo na lang ang dapat nakakakita niyan. Yung mga body parts mo. Okay? What else? Respeto ang priority ng husband. Laging respeto. Priority. Top 1 na kailangan ng husband mo. Because the more you respect your husband, the more nararamdaman niya yung pagmamahal mo. That's how they spell love. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Hindi ka maingay sa bahay, hindi ka nugget, hindi nanunumbat, hindi magastos, hindi nangiinsulto, hindi dominator. Because you are not designed to dominate the life of your husband. Magiging dominator lang ang wife, gaya ng sinasabi ko kanina, kung walang direksyon yung husband. Wife yung magdidikta sa husband. Ano ka ba? Wala ka bang direksyon sa buhay mo? The wife will give the husband direction. And sooner or later, susuko ang wife mo. Ano, i-guide ka all throughout along the way. every step of the way, i-guide ka ng wife mo, mapapagod yan. Dahil hahanapin niya pa rin yung pagkalalaki mo, bakit hindi mo kayang magpakalalaki. Kahit hindi nila ma-explain yan, nararamdaman nila na required kang magpakalalaki. Kahit hindi niya ma-explain yan sa'yo. Pang-apat, submissive ka dapat, supports, focuses to the husband's vision. Pang-lima, wais. Na-explain ko na yung pagiging submissive kanina, yung pag-align ng goal mo, sa yung vision mo, sa husband's vision. Yung pang-lima, dapat matipid ka na, girl. Nag-iipon ka na para sa pamilyang binuo ninyong dalawa. At hindi para doon sa iniwanan mong pamilya. Okay? Kung hindi naman kayo anak nila Robinsons, Gokongwei, nila Henry C., kailangan nyo i-manage yung finances niyo ng maayos. Ha? Kahit pa sabihin yung may milyones kayo ngayon, if you mismanage that, ubos yan. Sila Henry C., ang anak nila Gokongwei, kahit matulog yan, may kakainin sila for the next 10, 20 years. Kahit mahiga lang yan the whole day. Natutulog yan, pumapasok ang pera sa bangko nila. Ganon din ba kayo? Kung hindi, manage your finances together. Okay? So that's the meaning of Ezer in Hebrew. I-search nyo lang. Na-explain ko na. So, ito yung verse na sinasabi ko sa inyong design ng marriage. You are called by God to be your wife's teacher, husbands. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. Kaya nga magmamalfunction ang inyong relationship kapag wala kang alam, husbands. Wala kang alam sa mundo. Wala kang alam sa role mo bilang husband or father. Ang alam mo lang makipag-sex. Problema yan sa wife mo balang araw. Sa umpisa, sige, enjoy. Oh. 2 years, 3 years, nako. Iwanan ka ng wife mo. So, do's and don'ts to the husbands and do's and don'ts to the wives. Husbands, love your wives. Ephesians chapter 5. Nandyan lahat yan. Paulit-ulit, paikot-ikot. Iisa lang yung sinasabi. Always love your wives. Always respect your husband. Okay? So, no one knows the product well than the one who created the product. Pakibasa nga. Gusto kong marinig boses nyo uli. Pabasa nga, girl. Isang volunteer. Isang volunteer.
No one knows. Okay, I'll read for everyone.
Yeah, please.
No one knows the product well than the one who created the product. Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as it's fitting in the Lord. And do not be, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them.
Yan.
Colossians
3:18.
3:18.
Yeah. Thank you, girl. Thank you. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Do not be harsh to the woman because science has discovered that the woman are designed to be emotional. Kaya yung mga liliit na salita na hindi harsh sa atin, husbands, harsh sa kanila yun. Kaya yung sabihan mong pangit, that's harsh to them. Sabihan mong maalat yung luto, that is harsh to them. Di ba, girls? Tama?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, ito ang kailangan yung i-supply sa bawat isa. Hindi nyo na kailangan manghula. Alamin nyo lang ano ba yung pangangailangan ng bawat human being. Hindi nyo kailangang manghula, mag-experiment. Ito yung kailangan ng bawat isa sa inyo. Okay? Ang anak, ito na yung na-discover ng science eh. Oh, Maslow's. Every child needs all of this. Ito yung checklist. Hindi nyo kailangang manghula. It all starts from having knowledge about it. It starts from knowledge. Tinutulungan na tayo ng science. All we have to do is to follow, is to do it, apply it. give it, no? Marriage is not about you anymore. Tapos ka na sa pagkadalaga, pagkabinata. You now have a legal obligation to your country to produce functional individuals. Ano pa? You are now legally obligated to your maker, to God, to produce godly offspring. Malakay, chapter 2. Di ba pinag-isa kayo ng Diyos? In flesh and spirit, kayo ay pag-aari niya. Why kayo pinag-isa? Because he was seeking godly offspring. That is the purpose of God kapag kayo ay nag-asawa. He will look forward for both of you to produce godly offspring. Because just imagine this world. Imagine our society being operated by ungodly people. Imagine nyo na lang what will happen to us if we are all operated, if our government is being managed by ungodly people. The first law on parenting, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. You must believe in this. Pag hindi ka naniwala dito, pag nag-doubt ka, the society will teach your child. The world will teach your child. Ano tuturo ng mundo sa anak mo? At the early age, they will teach your child how to have sex. At the early age, he will teach your child how to get or earn money the easy way. And so on and so forth. Just imagine the many things, the many ungodly things this society will teach your child. Remember the word train. Train in Hebrew is the one that holds the entire train. Yung, alam mo yung LRT, PNR, the train itself. In front, that is called the train. Yung kung saan nandun yung engine, no? That is where the engine is located. The first structure in front. The cars attached to it are called cars. No, they are called cars. Yung mga nakakabit doon sa unahan. Kayo yan. Which means, whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever makita sa inyo ng anak nyo, susunod lang yan. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you do to each other, your children will follow you. So make sure that you are going to the right direction para hindi rin sila mapunta sa maling direksyon, para they will also go to the right direction. That is called responsible parenthood. Anything with two heads is a monster. Again, fathers, take the lead. Qualify yourself as a husband and as a leader. Qualify yourself as a father. Now, in closing, I'd like you to imagine this. If you have a land, may lupa kayo. If you have a land and you want to improve it by building a hotel or a structure on that land, of course, tapos na sa mind mo, the picture of the building is already finished in your mind. And you are announcing it outside that on this side will rise a 20-story building with 4 high-speed elevators and so on and so forth. The picture of your building is already finished in your mind. Now, the only way to achieve that, the only way for that picture to happen is for you to get the right team members. Who are these people? The right architects, the right engineers, the right carpenters, the right masons or laborers, the right electricians, the right plumbers, the right suppliers, the right finance management team the right performance of their respective duties. Isa lang dito yung wrong, madidiskarel ang project mo. Isa lang dito yung maging selfish at isipin yung sarili niya na magpakayaman. Isa lang dito yung may bisyo ay masisira ang project mo. Isa lang dito yung mag-isip ng sariling kasiyahan, madidiskaril ang project mo. Pwedeng hindi matuloy yan kapag hindi mo naagapan. Kaya yung selfishness ng isa sa mga team members na ito, pag nag-isip ng greediness, pag nag-isip ng corruption, your building will never happen. They all have to be right team members. Now, how about a perfect marriage, which is also a project? Getting the right team members starts from you as a single man to be fully charged, overflowing of love with yourself, as I've explained a while ago, goal-oriented, focus, disiplinado, hindi nagsasayang ng oras sa barkada, tapos na. You have the right mentality in life, and the right single woman na fully charged din, na mayroong ding goal na natapos na at dinidikit na niya yung goal niya sa goal ng husband. Fully charged, overflowing with love of herself. With the right mentality in life, ready na to be a wife and a mother. What else? Tamang husband or father. Kaya yung tamang tao sa step 1 hinahanap, hindi sa step 2 or sa step 3, girls. Ha? Tamang lalaki sa step 1 hinahanap. Alam yung kanyang job description, naiintindihan yung kanyang role as a husband and father. JD means job description. Tamang wife din at mother. Kaya pag naghanap ka ng tamang lalaki, girl, tanungin mo muna sarili mo, ako ba ay tamang babae din? Hindi pwedeng siya lang yung tama. How about you? Baka tama siya tapos mali kang babae, mali kang tao, siya naman yung magkakaproblema. Siya yung masisira ang buhay balang araw. Nagets nyo? Kaya merong nasisira ang buhay na dating maayos. O, tingnan nyo si John Lloyd, yung twin brother ko. Maayos yung buhay nung siya ay single. Nung mag-asawa, sumablay. Right friends, family goal-oriented dapat yung mga kaibigan kinakausap ninyo. Pag yung mga kaibigan ninyo walang direksyon ang buhay, sama kayo ng sama, naghahanap ng damay yan. Because wala silang direksyon eh. Lagi yang mag-iinom, magsusugal, pupunta sa mga walang kwentang lugar. They will always waste time, money, energy, and effort. Are they aligned to your goal as a family man? Because otherwise, you are just wasting your time. Right counselors during challenges. That's us. Okay? During your challenge, hindi nyo kayang sagutin, hindi nyo kayang i-resolve, come to us. Message us. Right environment, yung dwelling place ninyo, are you in the right environment? Are you creating the heavenly environment, or is it a toxic environment? You choose, because you are the one responsible for creating your own environment. Right budgeting or finance skills, and that is not naturally ingrained to us. Hindi yan naturally na may finance skills tayo kagad. It has to be studied well. Okay? And the right performance of respective duties. So with this right mentality, you will achieve whatever you believe. You will achieve whatever you believe because you will make effort to achieve it. And Harvard made studies for 75 years on human happiness. They said that the happiest and healthiest people who live on earth are those who invested in relationships, not in stock, not in crypto, not in real estate, but those who invested in relationship. So happy families depends on happy families is the what the world expects from us. The future is entrusted to our hands as we create these families. So those who destroyed our foundation forgot one thing. When natural products are involved, natural laws apply. So happy life, happy marriage, happy family is our decision, and I hope that is also your decision. These are my kids. We play together. And so if you have the same choice like us, focus on that happy family life you both have in mind. How? By stay on course, stay on your lane, straight ahead, and the fate of the next generation lies in us through responsible and loving husbands, fathers, with supportive and submissive wives and mothers. Question, who is the happiest in the picture? The happiest human being in that picture? Sino?
Wife.
Why? What's the message of that picture?
Happy wife, happy life.
Galing, galing naman. Very good. Thank you, thank you. So watch out for my book soon. It's coming out. Tamang guide sa pagpili ng tamang lalaki and how not to make your wife ask for an annulment. Thank you, my sincere prayers for the success of your marriage. Wala pa akong palakpak. Thank you, thank you. Any like and follow us, huh? Like and follow us, Papa Angelo, the Life Mentor, and BCIDP Exclusive School for Couples. Feedback, questions, violent reactions, this is your chance. Open the screen and give your questions. Meron po? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wala, ha? Photo shoot. Teka muna, before we go to photo shoot, feedback muna sa inyong mga natutunan. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your take sa ating mga pinag-usapan. And let's see, how do you appreciate this session? Let's start with Jerome and Jessica.
Hello. My take is that husbands should really lead the family.
Okay.
Kahit, although we respect, man should respect their wives in terms of family decisions, because as you discussed earlier, it takes two to tango. So it's not entirely the man's decision, but it should be what do you call that?
Mutual decision.
Mutual, yes.
Yes. Because ganitong setup niyan eh. Ang family is like a corporation. That's why the corporation is also designed according to family setup. The husband is the president, the wife is the vice president, and the children are the board of directors. When you have a proposal, isasubmit mo sa board. And the board has to discuss it. And the board members includes you and the vice president, your wife. You will justify bakit ito yung gusto mong desisyon. And so the wife is being heard pag wala pang children. Yung wife yung kukonsultahin mo. I will propose this and justify kung bakit. Then si wife naman, siyempre pag-aaralan niya. Then, pag nanaig yung decision mo, husband, you will justify also bakit mo dinidesisyonan yun. Because at the end of the day, you will decide. At walang reklamo yung wife because kinonsulto siya.
Yes.
The moment na nakonsulta ang wife at ginustify mo yung reason mo for deciding, nakumbinsi mo yung wife mo, okay, that's good. Then you go. Decide. Wala nang karapatan magalit yung wife pag ginustify mo na sa kanya, na-convince mo na siya, na-justify mo na yung proposal mo. And make sure that your decision goes to the benefit of the institution that you both created. Hindi lang para sa iyo. Okay? Jessica?
For me, a lot of takeaways, especially yung mga traits. There are a lot, parang you really have to prepare for marriage. Hindi siya yung basta-basta dinadecidean. And what you told us earlier, yung mga checklist na you should have this mentality, should be this and that. So parang, okay, yung mga checklist na yun, parang dapat na-check mo na siya before entering into marriage. Kasi if hindi ka pa sure with yourself and with your partners, parang it will fall or the marriage will fail in the future. And yun nga, parang God should be in the center of the relationship as much as possible.
Yes. If you see the warning signs, alam mo kung masisira ang buhay mo balang araw. Okay? If you ignore that, despite knowing it, tapos in-ignore mo, then you are doomed to fail. Your marriage is doomed to fail in the next few years. Okay? Thank you, Miss Jessica. Thank you, Jerome. Now let's listen from Lourdes and Christian.
Okay, for me, I learned that the top priority now is your husband. You need to consider each other, like as you have said just now, you need to be like mutual in many things.
Yes.
Even though it's like not 100% will be like connected to your opinions, but at least you need to listen and accept each other's opinion. Yeah, that's it. And for Christian, he told me that entering into like marriage, you need to have the mindset.
Correct mindset.
Yeah. Correct mindset.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And he also take note of the list, the qualification that must do and must not do in a marriage.
Yes, very good, very good. Thank you, Christian. Thank you. And Lourdes. Now let's hear from Leonard and Stephanie. Leonard and Steph.
Hello po.
Hello po. Ayun po, takeaways po namin is yung madami kaming natutunan tungkol sa ano yung mga kailangan pang i-prepare naming dalawa sa sarili namin bago kami pumasok sa marriage. Ayun po.
Very good. Oh, pogi pala ni Leonard. Ngayon ko lang nakita.
Tatlo na tayo.
Steph.
And for me naman po, yung pinakatumatak sa akin is yung to submit to your husband. Kasi coming from an individual person, tapos pasok ka sa marriage. Tapos the role of the husband is to lead. Ayun, parang at first ang hirap i-swallow na you have to submit. Kasi nga individual person ka, na single person ka, tapos ayun, magkapakasal ka. Then ayun tumatak sa akin na it's also your role to submit to your husband. Yeah. Then also rin po is yung pag-define natin kasi most of the time kahit na alam na natin yung mga bagay Pero ngayon po, dinefine natin siya as in word for word. Yung parang mas naintindihan natin, naalala natin yung toong definition and yung description ng role natin.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mrs. Step. Thank you. Now let's hear from Charles and Alexis.
Hi, sorry, my webcam is having some issues, so I think I can only do audio, but
Okay.
yeah, I think for me, like my culture is a bit different. I come from the nation of the Ganyan-Gehaga, part of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and for us, we're very much about equality and cooperation. So we wouldn't really have one person dominating the other. It can be different roles that are complementary, like, traditionally, in our society, the men would go out and hunt and conduct diplomacy and war, and the woman would, tend to the children and tend to their fields.
Yeah.
But, if someone wanted to break with that tradition, it wasn't a problem, right? So I understand the traditional roles. I think it's fine. Just I just don't know if I would think that it's one person is an authority over the other rather than having two complementary roles, right? And that even goes up to the leadership of our confederacy, right, where we have not one leader but actually 50 chiefs, 50 sachems who all have to work together if we're to come to any kind of like agreement on any kind of action. So that's my perspective, but I appreciate the perspective things I learned here too. Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you enter marriage, just try to apply the design to your marriage and see if it's working.
Yeah.
You only have to try. Okay. Application is the next step to prove that these are true.
To come together as two good minds. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. How about Sir Paul and Coco, Miss Coco?
Hello.
Hi.
Hiya. Thanks for today. It's very interesting. Kind of like the chat before, it's a bit culturally different for myself as well. So it's been quite interesting. I guess, I'm sort of, it's this a very, very, very different approach to being a couple, being together. But I will try to step up and be the man of the household and be someone that's supportive, that can take care of my partner, and be financially ready, etc., for that responsibility. I think over here we complement each other in a sort of different way slightly, whereby there's a lot more, the roles kind of they cross slightly, a bit more here, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've learned as well that just a bit more about the culture as well, I think, which has been quite good for me.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Paul. How about Coco?
Oh, I share the same sentiment with him.
All right. Let me just request you that you fit yourselves to the design and let's see if it's work for you. If not, you can try the teachings of society, of science. You can try that and see what works best for the both of you. But I just presented to you the original design of marriage according to its own author. Okay? How about the
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Hope to see you soon. How about Francis and Nikki? Don't leave yet. We will have a group photo, group picture. Francis and Nikki.
Hello. Well, for me, my takeaway would be like our relationship would be more of a give and take, and personally, having a strong personality, I think that would have to change with regards to the partner, especially that the husband would have a greater role in the in this relationship, especially if also if he becomes the father. So
Yes.
he'd be the head of everything.
Yes. And you feel that naturally. Okay, you cannot deny that. How about Francis?
Um, I think na most of the topics that you went through were very eye-opening, no? Especially with the part where, I was just joking around kanina about
Ko pala yun, ha?
yung sinabi mong money is, ano yun yung money is yung what's mine is hers and what's hers is hers, basically.
Yes.
Well, like I've always been prepared for that kind of stuff naman, and I've never felt like naging madamot akong tao, especially when it comes to my fiance. So, ang naisip ko na, starting ngayon pa lang, or even in our earlier, in the earlier part of our relationship, because I was already trying to show her na parang I can help her financially and support us, both of us financially. So with regards to like being able to lead a family, ganyan, I think na yes, there has to be one primary head, no? Tama po yun. Pero it's still a team effort talaga. It can't just be just one person telling the other person to do or to be something that they aren't exactly, you know what I mean? And so in the end, this parang yung takeaway ko is that it's a partnership talaga. It's not just okay, you get into the marriage and then everything will be given to you. You really have to work hard for it all.
Yes. Okay. Okay na, Francis? Thank you, thank you. Basta I encourage you all to continue studying your job description. There are many references. Kailangan ilapat nyo lang doon sa design ng marriage because we cannot deny the feelings the natural feelings embedded in our human beings. We cannot deny that because it's not invented by us. It's invented by our own creator. Okay? How about Chari and Ryan ba yun? Ryan? Ayan yun. Ryan, Chari, please.
Yes po, hello. For us naman po, one of the major takeaways from this seminar is yung respect and love for each other. And no matter what, man o problema or celebrations, success, kailangan lagi respect and love yung isa't isa. Yun
Okay.
po. Thank you.
Yes. Ryan, hindi ko narinig boses ni Ryan.
Yun po. Natutunan namin parehas na napakahalaga po ng meron tayong takot po sa Diyos. Sabi niyo nga po kanina, kung wala tayong takot, wala tayong pakikinggan kahit sino pa. Hindi sarili lang natin kung wala tayong takot sa Diyos. Yun lang po.
Yes. Thank you. Yung case studies, wala na tayong time kasi. Can you discuss that? What went wrong in the relationship? Yung mga case studies ninyo sa homework. Study that on your own while you are taking your dinner. Ilapat ninyo sa mga design na pinisinta ko sa inyo. Ano yung hindi nasunod? That's why nagkaroon ng marital problem, yung mga case studies na yon. Please talk about it during your bedtime or dinner time. And you will see the difference. Kasi no one is exempted. Kahit na anong talino natin, whatever degree or masteral or doctorate that we took, no one is exempted. Everybody is a candidate for messing up your relationship if you do not know what to do. If you have no knowledge about the design of the product, you will surely abuse it. You will surely abuse the product if you don't know how it was designed and what it is for. That's it. So I encourage you to continue studying your roles. Ha? Sa Google, naku, i-type nyo lang yan. How to be a good husband, how to be a good wife. Naku, ang daming lalabas dyan. Wala na tayong pwedeng idahilan. Wala na tayong pwedeng i-excuse. Everything is available in our fingertips. Ha? Basa-basa and understand. That is the key for a successful career, relationship, or marriage. Proverbs 24 verse 3 to 4. Okay? Picture naman tayo. Can you open your video so we can have a group picture? Para makita ko naman kayo. Yan. Okay, Charles and Alexis, please. Paul, Coco, can you open your video? No,
Yeah,
camera.
sir, I'm trying, but yeah, my webcam is giving. I'm like on a really terrible old laptop here.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry.
Charles.
I'm Alexis. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul, Coco, can you? Alexis can open. Oh, yeah, sure. Paul, can you open? Leonard and Steph? Yeah. Come on, guys. All right. Leonard, Steph, and Paul, Coco, please. Oh, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you guys. And on Monday kasi walang work today until tomorrow. Monday na lang yung delivery details ng inyong certificates. Okay? Marami pong salamat. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Lourdes Christian, Jerome Jessica, Ryan and Chari, Francis Nikki, and Charles and Alexis, Paul and Coco. Thank you for choosing us to provide your marriage counseling requirements.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And
Thank you for your cooperation. Bye-bye.